Nami. The red Luffy over there is really protecting the Mary. Vin Smoke Sanji. Yeah, that Wapple just opened his mouth, and he pinched it right away. Wapple. Damn straw hat. My teeth are all broken over there. Nami. Who told you over there that you want to eat the Melly? You should. Nefeltari Vivi. Yes, deserves it. Others saw that Wapple was actually attacked, and they all shot immediately. Wow. Before their fingers pulled the trigger, a terrifying aura was instantly released from Luffy's body. As if the terrifying coercion of Mount Tai suddenly overwhelmed everyone. Dong 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 dong. The members of the White Iron Pirates, whether they came to the Mary or their own ship, all fell to the ground at this moment, staring at their eyes and foaming at their mouths. Hearing the sound of fighting outside, Nami, Chopper, Sanji and Buggy also came out one after another. Where is such a person? Nami opened her mouth in astonishment and walked to Luffy's side. But when Chopper saw Wapple, he immediately exclaimed, Wapple. Everyone looked at Chopper, then at Wapple, and said in astonishment, he is Wapple? When I was on Drum Island, both Dalton and Kuriva told Luffy and others about Wapple. It's just that no one in Luffy's group has seen Wapple, only the locals on Magnetic Drum Island in Hudjone. See. Of course Chopper was shocked to see Wapple on board the Mary at this time. Hey. Since you know that I am Wapple, why not treat me well? Then, Chiba-san will send me to Magnetic Drum Island. You will all come to be my right-hand man, and I guaranteed to eat delicious and spicy food every day. Wapple was overjoyed when someone recognized his identity. But the next moment, Luffy said coldly, Zoro, cut him. Kanglang. Snow out of sheath. Brush. A big head flew up. Wapple. Ah. Seeing that his head was chopped off in the red frame screen, Wapple exclaimed immediately. Although Wapple on the other side was killed, Wapple on this side couldn't help but feel the pain in his neck. He never thought that the self over there would die so simply. Tony Chopper. Luffy over there is good, decisive. Chopper originally wanted to say it was terrible, but after thinking about it, he changed his mouth. Nami. Don't be afraid, Chopper, that Wapple has harmed the people of Magnetic Drum Island so badly, he deserves to die. Wapple. Asshole. Don Quixote Doflamingo. Fooferfurfer. Killing decisively, he is really a born master. Doberman. That's the king of the country that joined the world's government. He was killed without saying a word. Does this guy have the majesty of the world's government? Jewelry Bonnie. A person like you doesn't know right from wrong. A guy like Wapple. What's wrong with killing him? Looks like all the shit in Marine except for the smoker just now. Shiki. Gia ha 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 ha. Little girl, you can talk a little more, I will support you. Jewelry Bonnie. You're a deadhead. You're a ghost. Shiki. Ah. Damn, what a sharp-tongued little girl. Gold D. Roger. Ha ha ha. Ah, killed? Suddenly seeing Wapples, Chopper's eyes widened in shock. Obviously he is not used to the life of fighting and killing. Don't be afraid, Imba. Seeing this, Luffy patted Chopper's head and said, this guy must die. In the past few years, because of his good deeds, many civilians on Magnetic Drum Island have died of injuries. If he is allowed to return to Magnetic Drum Island, the people of Magnetic Drum Island will live under the evil rule of this bastard again. Luffy explained. Whether it is the disaster this guy brought to the people of Magnetic Drum Island, or the act of trying to rob and eat Melly just now, he will definitely die today. Damn him. Nami firmly supports Luffy's approach. Especially. Her hometown was also ruled by the Dragon Pirates, so she hates such things. Mary temporarily stopped moving forward. Everyone brought all the guys from the White Iron Pirates to the White Iron Pirates. Then, Luffy, Buggy and Nami entered the cabin of the diving boat and cleared out all the people inside. Nami used the slippery fruit ability to mark all the places he passed with slippery attributes when he entered. Luffy directly opens the advanced observation hotkey for a full radar scan. Finding someone, Buggy's hand flew directly to pick up the person and threw him into the aisle outside. And there is Nami's slippery attribute on the aisle. These guys who were thrown out directly slid to the deck outside the cabin. Trafalgar Law. Their division of labor is really clear. Nico Robin. Ah, I have to say, they are very efficient. Nami. Looking at it, I want to have the ability of slippery fruit. Buggy. My uncle has become the Straw Hat Boy's thug, it's too embarrassing. Shanks. Ah ha ha. Buggy, just have fun. Soon. All the crew members of the White Iron Pirates were gathered on the deck, and Luffy used the Conqueror's Haki to revive those who fainted. After confirming the identities of Jess and Cromarimon, Luffy ordered them to be cut off without hesitation. The two of them are the two treacherous ministers under Wapol, and they have a bad stomach, so Luffy also sent them to accompany Wapol. What about these people? Let them go. Usopp looks at the crew members crouching on the ground with their heads folded and said. Put? Luffy widened his eyes, then pointed to the pirate flag on the mast, and said in a serious tone, Bounty. This is all bounty. Since Luffy started the bounty road, he has not missed a pirate that can be exchanged for bounty. Magnetic Drum Island spends 200 million Baileys to buy pets. If there is no certain speed of making money, how can it spend so arrogantly? Although Kuriva wanted to return the 200 million berries to Luffy in the end, Luffy resolutely refused. In the end, the two parties made a compromise, and Kuriva only kept 100 million berries. Hey. Usopp scratched his head, and immediately realized, that's right. I just thought that they were soldiers from the Iron Barrel Kingdom, but I forgot that they are now pirates. Nami has Bailey in his eyes, the more she looks at Luffy, the happier she is. This man looks so handsome when he makes money. That's Doctor. At this time, Chopper suddenly pointed to a group of white coats squatting on the ground and said, Luffy, can you let 20 of them go back to Magnetic Drum Island? Chopper explained. When I was with Dr. Kuriva before, the patients on Magnetic Drum Island couldn't be treated. Now I have left too. Ms. Kuriva can't be more busy alone. Hearing this, Luffy didn't think much, just nodded. Okay, Chopper, you were right. Because of Chopper's departure, more people on Magnetic Drum Island may become sicker or die due to lack of timely medical treatment. If there is a real need to settle accounts for these, it must be calculated on the heads of Luffy and his party. If the 20 doctors in front of me can be brought back to Magnetic Drum Island, then the medical shortage in Magnetic Drum Island can be greatly alleviated. Although 20 people cannot cover the medical work of the entire Magnetic Drum Island, but because these 20 people are medical masters, as long as the current King Dalton of Magnetic Drum Island is not an idiot, these 20 people will definitely be allowed to conduct medical treatment. I believe that it won't be long before Magnetic Drum Island will be famous for its advanced medical treatment again. Luffy looked at the 20 doctors and asked, for the sake of Chopper's plea, I will spare 20 of you from dying. However, after you return to Magnetic Drum Island, you must fulfill your duties as a doctor, heal the sick and save the sick, you hear me? Ah. Yes. Got it, we must do it, we must do it. We were also forced by Wapol. Now that Wapol is here, we must do our best to treat diseases and save lives for our fathers and fellow villagers. Listening to Luffy's order, the 20 doctors nodded repeatedly as if they were pardoned. Subsequently, the two ships Mary and White Iron returned to Magnetic Drum Island. However, near the sea off the island, Luffy asked 20 doctors to go back in a lifeboat by themselves. After all, it's not good if I don't meet Kuriva after I go back. But see you. Chao Zhang and Kuriva have to leave 10 more times. See. Forget it. Almost all the people in the White Iron Pirates were tied up on the White Iron Pirates ship, leaving only 2 people responsible for sailing the ship, watched by Buggy and Usopp. They don't know how to play tricks. A few days later, Luffy and his party arrived at an island with a marine base on the way to Alabasta. Looked for a wild port, and the ship docked. Luffy, Nami and Zoro take people to exchange bounties, while the rest stay on the boat. Marine 19th Branch, excuse me, we are 3 bounty hunters. Here are the pirates we caught and killed, in exchange for bounties. Luffy is quite familiar with this process now. He took out 2 Baileys from his body and stuffed them into the hands of the marine soldier in front of him. A little expense can make the process faster. Why not do it? Hey. The 3 of you please follow me. I will immediately invite the base chief and financial officer. Taking the benefits, the marine soldier immediately smiled, and directly greeted the 2 guards behind him to let him go. Come to the waiting hall, the 3 of Luffy in the sea connected by the rope. The thieves are all here. Not long after, 3 people who looked like marine officers came. Seeing 3 people coming, the Marine soldier who was in charge of reception was stunned for a moment, then showed a surprised expression, and quickly saluted, "Mr. Loki, Mr. Hina." Colonel Hina was originally on a routine patrol to catch pirates around here, and just needed to resupply ammunition, so he came to the 19th branch to resupply. Just now the soldiers came over to report to Chief Loki. It was reported that someone came to exchange the bounty, but there were still dozens of pirates, which surprised Hina and Loki, so Hina also came to have a look. 3 people actually caught so many pirates, it's really young people who don't look like they. Looking at the 3 of Luffy, Hina gave a faint compliment. "Thank you, beautiful sister Marine, for the compliment," Luffy laughed. Having had the experience of exchanging bounties twice, Luffy's speech skills are still a bit improved. Listening to the address of Beauty Marine's sister, Hina raised her eyebrows slightly, feeling much better. Nod to Luffy, then she continued to look at the pirates. However, what makes her feel strange is that none of these pirates are known to her. According to common sense, since you came to the 19th branch to exchange bounties, then these pirates must be operating around this sea area. There is no reason for Hina to be unclear. "Where did you pirates come from?" Hina asked casually with doubts. Luffy smiled and said, "On the sea. They are the White Iron Pirates. I don't know the exact bounty, but I would like to trouble this handsome guy, Brother Marine, to look it up for us." Marine's accountant, whom Luffy calls a handsome guy, is flipping through the bounty booklet. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. As time goes by, the bounty booklet is almost exhausted, but the Marine treasurer still hasn't found the corresponding reward order. The complexions of Colonel Rocky and Colonel Hina began to change. In the era when the reward order was not standardized, many people killed innocent people indiscriminately to act as pirates, and then went to the Marine base in exchange for rewards. However, as the current reward order system continues to go on the right track, there are almost no loopholes. Of course, there are also some shallow-sighted guys who occasionally do such absurd things, but Marine sees them all and arrests them. At this time, as the bounty booklet is about to bottom out, Colonel Hina and Colonel Rocky are obviously also starting. Are Luffy, Nami and Zoro the same kind of people? DC. What is this? Colonel Hina suddenly saw a bag behind the crowd, so he asked. That's the head of their captain and officer, Luffy explained. Although the 3 Wapples have been killed, their heads can be exchanged for bounties. Luffy is naturally impossible. Hina nodded slightly, then ordered, "Come on, open it." "Don't bother others." Luffy picks up the sack familiarly and pours it out. 3 human heads rolled out with a grunt. Hina looked at it for a while, and suddenly her eyes shrank. He stared at one of the heads carefully. The next moment, she turned pale with shock. This is the head of King Wapple. As the colonel of naval headquarters, Hina has a lot of knowledge about the world's official government alliance countries. Especially in the countries that are relatively close to the naval headquarters like the Kingdom of Lapazistan and the Kingdom of Tetung, it is impossible for Hina not to know the information about their national development. And after Wapple was killed by Blackbeard out of the Iron Barrel Kingdom, they escaped too hastily without a record pointer, so they could only be like headless chickens in the waters near Magnetic Drum Island. As for the fact that they became the White Iron Pirates, it is even more unknown. At this time, Hina suddenly found out that the heads of these so-called pirate captains were actually the kings of the world's allied countries, and she was shocked. She glanced at the 3 of Luffy and said, "You guys are so brave." Monkey D. Luffy. Hey, what's going on? Why does that female Marine officer put on a fierce look? Nami. She yelled, "King Waple's head, can't she? She doesn't know about Wapple being a pirate, right?" Wapple. Nonsense. I came out in a hurry and didn't bring a record pointer, so I could only wander around in the nearby sea area. All the little pirates we met were all eaten by me. Of course, no one knew what we were doing. Pirate experience. Smoker. Got it now. Just wait to get caught. Wapple. Ah. I'm talking nonsense. Hina. No need to quibble, the 2 videos have given the exact evidence. Wapple, you can't escape. Gold D. Roger. Haha. In this situation, how will the red Luffy over there end up? Crane. The bounty is definitely irreplaceable, and according to Hina's personality, they should be arrested, but Hina definitely can't beat them. Troublesome. Hina. Tashigi. I hope that Chief Hina over there won't act rashly. The red Luffy over there can kill people without blinking an eye. Rox D. Zebek. Haha. Kill. It would be fun to kill this marine branch base. Ochaku. That's right, just take the money away. What kind of bounty will you exchange for it? You guys are so courageous. Hina shouted softly, raised her left hand, and made a tactical gesture. The Marines in the room immediately stopped what they were doing when they saw this, took out their weapons, and approached the three of Luffy in a siege. At the same time, one of the Marines shouted, "Reinforcement." Suddenly there are dense footsteps outside. Kanglang. Zoro pulled out 2 knives in an instant, put on a posture, and shouted, "What?" Luffy stretched out his hand to block Zoro first, and then looked at Hina calmly. "We are here to exchange bounties, but you are facing each other with swords. What does this mean?" "Exchange bounty? Take the head of the king of the world's official government alliance country? Boy. You are deliberately provoking our marine." Hina pointed to Waipol's head and shouted, "Wait. There must be some misunderstanding here. They are really the White Iron Pirates. Their pirate ship is still in the port. If you don't believe me, we can show you. Luffy just wants to make some money, so it's not a last resort, and I don't want to engage in unnecessary battles." Mouth. After all, judging by the appearance of these Marines, it seems that they are justified. There is no need to mess with them. Hina interrupted Luffy immediately, and said coldly, "Stop quibbling. None of these people appear in the bounty list, they are not pirates at all." Luffy laughed immediately. Hey. They really are. Don't believe me, ask them yourself." As soon as these words came out, those pirates squatting on the ground looked at me and I looked at you, and immediately made eye contact. Next moment. "Help. We are the Iron Barrel Kingdom and the King's army. These guys are the pirates. They came to our country, killed our king, and then arrested us. They want to use us as pirates to imagine gold. Yeah. Especially the guy with the straw hat, he's so bad. He has threatened us more than a dozen times along the way. If we don't obediently play the role of pirates, he will kill us. Master Marine Queen, save us quickly." Suddenly, these pirates hurriedly beat back, really showing Luffy the 3 of them in a daze. Skulikmanip. Ah, blah, blah. This is too much fun. Look at the confused expression of the Straw Hat Luffy over there, haha, I laughed so hard. Kid Eustace. Those guys turned their heads quite quickly, and they worked together to slander the red Luffy over there. Now, the red Luffy and the others are really yellow mud smeared in their crotches. It's either shit or shit. You're rogue. Don't tell me, these guys are indeed the king's army of the Iron Barrel Kingdom. Even if Marine really investigates, it's not easy to investigate. Jewelry Bonnie. Ahahaha, I feel sorry for red Luffy over there, haha. Monkey D. Luffy. Those guys are really disgusting. They wronged me over there. Nico Robin. Shouldn't there be a reward for Luffy and the others soon? Frankie. Haha. It would be so funny. The situation in front of him was really beyond Luffy's expectation. He clenched his fists and said angrily, "Hey, you bastards. If you dare to talk nonsense again, I will kill you." Queen Marine, you see he is still threatening us. What a scary pirate, so all pirates are so cruel. For a while, the pirates on the ground turned into shadow emperors, desperately planting and framing. A large number of Marine soldiers rushed in from outside, raised their guns and aimed at the 3 of Luffy. Luffy's teeth were itching with anger. He thought to himself, he still suffered from cognition. He didn't expect that Marine would only recognize the reward order but not the person. In fact, the bad things these pirates have done, as long as they are interrogated separately, they will naturally be interrogated. But looking at the posture in front of them, Marine definitely doesn't believe them. Kill? Zoro bites the 3rd knife in his mouth, Kaido. Luffy shrugged his shoulders. Forget it, these Marines are also kept in the dark. They have no damn reason. Put these bastards on the ground. I came here to receive the bounty happily, but in the end, I encountered such a heartwarming thing. If I don't kill these guys to relieve my anger, it will definitely not work. Presumptuous. How dare you speak wild words in Marine base, and don't take Hina seriously. Na is very angry. Suddenly, Hina opened her hands, and black spears emerged from her arms, and rushed directly to the three of Luffy. Luffy's Conqueror's Haki was released immediately. The marine soldiers on the scene had no resistance at all, and were immediately overwhelmed by this terrifying deterrent force. All of them were foaming at the mouth, seeing stars in their eyes, and passed out on the spot. Hina knelt down on the ground with a bang. Her two palms were propped on the ground suddenly, her face was pale, her whole delicate body was trembling non-stop. Huh. Seeing that Hina didn't lie obediently on the ground, Luffy was a little surprised. I also met a marine colonel in Logue Town before. When Luffy's Conqueror's Haki was released, he was overwhelmed. As expected of a marine in the Grand Line, you are also a colonel, you are better than that colonel in Logue Town. Luffy's eyes showed a little appreciation. However, his voice just fell, boom. Hina's arms and legs trembled to the limit, and she fell directly on the ground. Luffy pouted. So you are only a little better than him. You. Hina raised her head hard, wanted to say something, but could only say 3 or 2 words. Luffy stretched out his hands, and instantly took 2 guns from the hands of the 2 marines, and stuffed them into the hands of Nami and Zoro. He stretched out his hand again, and 2 more guns fell into his own hand. Come on. Let's use the guns of justice to kill these bastards on the tin seabed. Luffy turned into a black boss with 2 guns. The bullets in the guns suddenly tilted towards those seamen. Since these guys have gained Marine's trust, they may be released by Marine. If these people return to Magnetic Drum Island, who knows if they will take revenge on the people there. Everything. Luffy just doesn't do anything, just kills. Zoro saw this, put the knife back into the scabbard, and played with the gun. Nami thought about it, gritted his teeth, and pulled the trigger. Nami has never killed anyone before, but she is not a flower in a greenhouse, she has been wandering at sea for many years. I have seen many scenes of life and death, and I already have a strong will. As for killing people, she just didn't have the need to kill them before. Facing these damned guys now, Nami gritted his teeth and took the first step. Ghost Spider. It's really lawless. Stallo Berry. This is the second time they've killed in Marine Base. Trafalgar Law. So what? The first time they killed the Black Marine who harmed the civilians. This time they killed the King's army who harmed the civilians. I don't think they are wrong. Gold D. Roger. Well said. These people are damned. Well done. Crane. Anyway. Their behavior has crossed the line. Shiki. Pull a few hands down. After killing the garbage, the 3 of Luffy threw their guns on the ground. Let's go. Luffy waved his hand, signaling to retreat. Of course, this matter will not end like this. Caught so many pirates, but in such a good mood, I thought I was going to get so many bounties. It ended up like this. Luffy already has an idea. When he passed Hina, Hina raised her hand with a little strength that had just recovered, and grabbed Luffy's ankle. Luffy lowers his head and looks at Hina. I saw Hina biting her red lips, and shouting weakly from the remaining strength. Hina is very annoyed. Hina will not let you go. Amount. Luffy is very speechless. He bent down, took Hina's hand off his ankle, put it on Hina's heart, put it away. Well, I wish you all wishes come true, Luffy smiled, then walked away. Hina. Nani. The red Luffy boy over there. It's so disgusting. Watching the scene in the video, Hina was so angry that her heart was pounding. Hina over there declared her position with such a firm tone, she was even mentally prepared to be killed by Luffy. However, Luffy over there not only didn't get angry, but gave Hina encouragement. This is more annoying than ignoring her. It's no longer a humiliation. It simply means, you don't deserve to be humiliated by me. Although it is Hina over there, but because the character is exactly the same, Hina feels the same way. It exploded. Quinn. Ho 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 ha ha ha. This is more ruthless than ridicule. Absolutely. One word, absolutely. Black Maria. Obviously speaking words of encouragement, even the tone of voice is so gentle, but if I were that female marine officer, I'm afraid I'd be pissed off too. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Look at Hina's expression over there, I'm so happy. Guion. That red Luffy guy is such a speechless bastard. Looking at the back of Luffy leaving, Hina's eyes widened. She opened her mouth and was stupefied for a long time before she said quietly, "Ah. Hina. I feel so depressed." "Mary, hey? Where's the money?" Seeing that Luffy returned empty-handed, Sanji, Usopp, Buggy and Chopper all looked confused. "What's the situation? Those pirates are worthless. Don't mention it. This time it's really bad luck for 8 lifetimes." Zoro waved his hand depressedly. "Those Marines would rather believe the words of those pirates. I'm so mad." Afterwards, Nami recounted the experience of the 3 of them on this trip, which immediately made everyone's teeth itch. "Obviously I really caught the pirates, but not only did I not get a single Bailey, but I was treated as a bad guy. It's too much." Luffy sat on the bow and thought about it. After a while, he looked at Nami. "Nami, I have a task for you." "Well, what mission?" Nami ran over. "When we get to Alabasta, you can go to the local news agency and buy a copy of all the newspapers offering rewards in the past 50 years. Before we go to change the rewards, we have to check it, so as not to suffer this time again," Luffy said. Nami's eyes flashed. "Okay. That's right. We have to gain a lot of wisdom." He also nodded. Usopp walked towards the steering wheel and asked as he walked, "Then let's go now," etc. Luffy stopped him immediately. Everyone looked at Luffy. I saw Luffy rubbing his chin, and said in an unhappy tone, "We really caught the pirates, and they were handed over to the Marines. Although they are dead, there are bounties for those who die. How can there be no reason to not give a bounty after delivering the goods?" Nami pursed her lips. "But it's impossible to get the bounty from Marine." "Huh. If they don't give it to you, we'll take it ourselves." "Luffy doesn't want to suffer from this. It's fine if you don't hand it over to someone. Now that you have handed it over to someone, he has to take the bounty." How'd I get it?" Nami was a little confused. The corner of Luffy's mouth is slightly tilted. He looks up at Zoro, Usopp, Sanji and Buggy. The 4 of them were taken aback for a moment, then suddenly realized something. The corners of the 4 people's mouths also slowly tilt upwards. That night, the sky is like a millstone, the moon is like a hook. 5 figures emerged from the small woods in the south of the town. They were all covered with leaves and whole-woven core raincoats, with wide hats on their heads, and holding wooden sticks. They sneaked towards the 19th branch of Marine. The Straw Hat 5. Reappear. Shanks. It has to be this style. It feels right, ha 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 ha. Charlotte Linlin. Ha 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 ha, my mother's favorite scene is here. Paluzolino. After a year and a half, the Straw Hat Bandits are born again. Sakazuki. Deceive yourself. If people don't see what they're doing, they don't count. They're king criminals. Monkey D. Long. Don't label other people indiscriminately. They are just going to get back what should belong to them. I bet they will only take the part of the bounty they deserve. As for other money, I won't take it. Gold D. Roger. That's right. I bet the Straw Hat Kid over there won't take more. Crane. Anyway, those Marines don't know that Wapol and his group have become pirates. This is not Marine's problem. Shiki. I still have the face to say that I don't know. As a member country of the world's official government, the Iron Barrel Kingdom has been murdered by Wapol for several years, and your Marine hasn't heard any news. Now the Straw Hat Boy and his party have killed the people. You Marines still have the nerve to blame them? Marshall D. Teach. The thief, ha 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 ha. I have the right to say this. When I went to Magnetic Drum Island, Wapol ran away with his escort. At that time, the people there actually cheers, haha. Trafalgar Law. According to the previous situation, maybe the Marine didn't receive the news that the Iron Barrel Kingdom was killed by Wapol, but it may be cut off by some Marines like the Jumeda Islands. Rox D. Zebek. Ha ha ha. Makes sense. Marine is so bad, how can it be possible that only East Blue has garbage? Grand Line must have more garbage in Marine. The entrance of the 19th branch of Marine. Who? Suddenly seeing 5 black shadows emerging from the dim moonlight, the 2 guards at the gate of the base suddenly shouted. Boom. Boom. Dare to make a sound. The bandit's stick greeted him unceremoniously. Luffy tapped Usopp with the stick, then pointed towards the searchlight. Immediately, the wooden stick clicked on Sanji and Zoro, and pointed to the right. Tap the wooden stick again on Buggy and himself, pointing to the left. Then he pointed forward with the wooden stick and acted. It's not the first time I've done this, the means. As Usopp picked up a rock and smashed several searchlights, the other four quickly broke into the base barracks. Oh. Bastards, you. Oh, help. Enemy attack. Enemy attack. There are bursts of screams from the 19th branch of Marine. It didn't take long before it became completely quiet. When the 5 people came out of the branch base, there was already a big treasure chest. Those pirates from the King's army, one is worth 1 million, it's cheaper for them. Yes. The 2 cadres add up to 20 million pele's, and Wapol counts 30 million pele's. They get a total of 100 million pele's, which is really cheap for them. Back on the Mary, run away immediately because of the family. Even the diving boat with the white iron pirates was taken away. Wait until the deep sea. Zoro went down with a few knives, the bottom of the diving boat leaked, and then slowly sank into the bottom of the sea. 5 sets of gangster suits were also thrown into the sea, all corpses and traces were destroyed. Gold D. Roger. Sure enough, as I guessed, they only take what they deserve. Shanks. Although the red Luffy over there does things eclectically, but the bottom line and principles are still very stable. Edward Newgate. Gu la 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 la. If the Marine doesn't give it to me, I'll take it myself. This old man likes this way of doing things. Mary is sailing on the sea, heading towards Alabasta. Ah. God. Just when I was about to pack up and go to sleep, in the orange orchard on the deck, Nami suddenly screamed. Nami-chan. I'll protect you. Sanji rushed over with a swipe. Then, Nani. At this time, Luffy and others also quickly gathered here in the orange garden. When helping them see the situation in front of them clearly, all of them widened their eyes in shock. In the deepest part of the orange garden, the orange tree hidden in the innermost part is covered with oranges. Of course, hanging oranges is not scary. The scary thing is that among these oranges there are actually 10 devil fruits covered with mysterious patterns. It looks like a dog mixed in among the oranges, without any self-knowledge of being a devil fruit. Usopp opened his mouth wide and turned pale in shock. Hey, hey, hey. This is devil fruit. Idiot, we know it. Sanji said. What's going on? Nami, how can your orange tree still grow devil fruit? Seeing the devil fruit growing on the tree, Luffy was stunned. Does devil fruit grow from trees? Shouldn't be. The other people also look at me and I look at you, so I don't understand what's going on. Only Buggy suddenly said, no, this is not a devil fruit growing on a tree. This devil fruit is probably from Wapol. Wapol's. Hearing what Buggy said, the expressions on everyone's faces became even more confused. Buggy continued. You all know that when a capable user dies, devil fruit will randomly spawn somewhere in the sea. Yeah. I've heard of it. Sanji nodded. However, there is another situation. If the ability user dies, if there is a fresh and complete fruit near him, then there is a certain probability that this devil fruit will be attached to the fruit. Buggy said. Is there such a thing? Nami caressed this devil fruit lightly, amazed. She turned her head to look at Luffy. Luffy, quickly check the devil fruit illustrated book. What exactly is this devil fruit? Actually, before Nami could say anything, Luffy had already taken out the hand-copied version of the devil fruit illustrated book and started flipping through it. A few other people gathered around, just like a group of poor kids watching rich kids playing cards. After a while, the devil fruit illustrated book came down on a certain page. The devil fruit pictured above is exactly the same as the devil fruit mixed in the orange. Name written below. Munch munch fruit. After eating, you can eat anything, become part of your body, or synthesize new things. Wapol. Damn. That's my devil fruit. Capone beige. Is this okay? Devil fruit can still be reborn in this way, so can't it hunt and kill capable people? Rox D. Zebek. Don't count on this method. Although everyone knows that this method is feasible, but the success rate is extremely low. It is so low that it is almost impossible. Shiki. Gia ha 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 ha. When we were still in Rox Pirate, Rox took us to hunt and kill demon fruit power everywhere. We killed hundreds of power users, but none of them successfully transferred their power to nearby fruits. crane. This kind of thing is almost impossible. Not to mention how high the success rate is. Even if it can reach 1%, then everyone with abilities in this sea will be in danger. Guion. That's right, no matter how strong you are, no one wants to be stared at their head every day. It's really munch fruit. Luffy placed the devil fruit illustrated book next to the orange tree and compared it carefully before making a conclusion. Who will eat this devil fruit? Luffy looks at Zoro, Sanji and Usopp. On the melee, there are currently only 3 of them who are not capable users. I do not need. Zoro shook his head, still the same as before, and said handsomely, everyone on a ship must not be capable. Otherwise, once the ship capsizes, everyone will never see One Piece. Usopp stepped on the side of the boat and lost a pose. Brave warriors at sea are determined not to eat devil fruit. B. These 2 were determined to become non-capable persons. Sanji thought for a while and murmured, the ability of this devil fruit can synthesize new things, which is very useful to me. I will make jam for you later, I just need to eat the fruit, and then. Several fists landed on Sanji's head at the same time. Don't even think about it. Everyone scolded in unison. Originally, if Sanji is willing to eat this devil fruit, everyone must have no opinion. But now I heard what Sanji said. Even if they are killed, it is impossible for Sanji to eat this devil fruit. Ah! Sanji got up from the ground with staring eyes, just about to get angry, but saw Nami clench his fist, and immediately changed into a dog-licking form. It turned out to be the love fist of Nami-chan's little hammer. Sleep more, let me hit it a few times. Nami punched down, and a pagoda swelled out of Sanji's head. A demon emoji appeared on Nami's face, staring at Sanji, with a voice like a ghost. Listen, Sanji, you. Absolutely. Yes. No. Shoo. Eat. This. Evil. Fruit. Wow. The scary Nami-chan is so cute. I swear to obey Nami-chan's orders. Looking at Nami's horrible look, Sanji actually looks happy. Several people around me made faces, shook and bought D. You can't get a house by licking a dog. At this time, Luffy looked at Nami and said, Nami, this devil fruit will be kept by you first. Yeah, Nami nodded. Judging from the current staffing on the ship, it is most appropriate to let Nami take care of it. After all, she has a history of hiding money, so keep it. A precious devil fruit is definitely not a problem. As for what to do with this devil fruit, Luffy hasn't thought much about it yet. Anyway, there is no shortage of money now, so I definitely don't need to sell it. Keep it for now, maybe future partners will use it, Usopp. Sanji over there has a more lustful physique than Sanji here. Roronoa Zoro. Let's make Sanji stretch his hips even more. Vin smoke Sanji. Hey, you 2 bastards. A few days later, the Mary successfully arrived at Alabasta. Port City, rapeseed flowers, old rules. When you encounter an island, go ashore to purchase, it is the most basic respect for the sea. Sanji and Zoro went to buy ingredients, Buggy and Usopp stayed behind to watch the boat, Luffy, Nami and Chopper went to buy daily necessities and sailing necessities. Found the news agency in Rapeseed City, and the 3 of Luffy entered the store. Hi. It looks like you are from other places. What do you need? The boss of the news agency warmly received it. Nami looked at the shelf and asked, Boss, how many years ago did the newspapers here last? Are there any within 50 years? The owner of the news agency was taken aback, then shook his head. How can there be newspapers that are so old in places like ours? You can only find them in places like Sabodi Archipelago. We can find newspapers from 20 years ago at the earliest in our store. 20%. Nami bit her lower lip lightly, nodded her head as if nothing had happened, and then said, Boss, we need the kind of newspapers with reward notices. Please give us all the newspapers with reward notices in the past 20 years come with one. Hearing this, the boss's eyes lit up. It's a big family. Usually for customers who put forward such special requirements, the boss will increase the price of the goods by a small amount. After all, there are special prices for special requests. Beauty. I'm sure I can find you all, but if this kind of collective has a whole set of newspapers, the price is not cheap. The boss opened his mouth tentatively. Let's take a look first. Just take it. The price is not a problem, Nami said nonchalantly. Playing with my grandma to raise prices by sitting on the floor, right? My aunt first pretends not to care about money, and wait until you find out all the newspapers. If you dare to ask for more money, my aunt will not buy it. It depends on you. Nami used to be a thief. A thief is a thief. Good. The boss looked at Nami and Luffy, who looked at their inexperienced age. It was obvious that they were a young couple who came out to be slaughtered. Also bring a pet. Young people nowadays really know how to play. The boss is thinking about it in his heart, while starting to take the newspaper. Newspapers are stored according to the date. In fact, it is easy to find them, but the boss still has to pretend that it is difficult to find them. It took a full hour for the boss to come out from the back room. It's so hard to find all of them for you guys. I'm so exhausted. I accidentally fell down just now. This business almost cost me my life. Put a stack of thick newspapers on the table. The boss rubbed his waist and sighed. Boss, how much are these? Nami asked with a smile. Oh, these. The boss was just about to answer, when the guy next to him suddenly shouted, Boss, here is the newspaper that just came out today, with the latest reward order. Mail. The guy is busy cutting newspapers, picks up a copy and throws it to the boss. The boss took it without hesitation, just about to say the price. Suddenly his body trembled violently. He stared at the cover of this newspaper offering a reward, his pupils dilated suddenly. I saw a boy with a straw hat, a swordsman with a green algae head, and a little beauty on it. Crime. Killing the king of the Iron Barrel Kingdom and the king's army, a vicious big pirate. The boss's heart suddenly twitched. Mom. Monkey D. Luffy. Hey, we really got a bounty. Nami. It seems to be just me, you and Zoro. Roronoa Zoro. Is that Colonel Hina doing it? Indiscriminate, what a bastard. Hina. Hey. Be careful what you say. I obviously don't know what happened in the Iron Barrel Kingdom over there. I just acted according to the rules and regulations. Shiki. Look. I didn't want to be a pirate at first, but you directly labeled him as a pirate, and then you shouted for justice every day. Are you really not afraid to laugh people's big teeth off? Sengoku. Shut your mouth. Boss, how much is it? Nami visually measured the approximate thickness of the newspapers, and estimated the prices of these newspapers in his mind. If the boss charges indiscriminately, Nami has decided not to buy it directly, let him work for nothing. Looking at Nami's sweet and lovely smile, the corner of the boss's mouth twitched twice, and Jonin couldn't help but sweat on his forehead. Just like the story says, some people are cute girls on the surface, but they are murderous devils behind their backs. No. Don't want money. Between money and life, the boss chose the latter without hesitation. What? Nami's orange pupils suddenly opened, full of strangeness. She has already mentally prepared for the black price that the boss is about to quote, and it turned out, no money? This big turn can't be done directly by Nami. Actually, Nami's surprised expression is also very charming, but at this moment, Nami's charming look falls into the eyes of the boss of the news agency, but it is extremely terrifying. Oops. My attitude has changed too much before and after. If I accidentally touched a nerve of this murderous devil, wouldn't I have to stay where I am? He hurriedly explained. That isn't our store celebrating an anniversary. We randomly choose a lucky customer to get free order. Free. After hearing this, Nami will not be sleepy anymore. She pointed to the shelf next to her. Since it's free, can you also get a set of nautical charts and islands over there for free? The boss gritted his teeth. Yes. Wow. The boss is such a nice guy. You will definitely make a fortune. After receiving a set of newspapers and a set of nautical charts and island encyclopedias, Nami's eyes smiled into the shape of Bailey. Looking at the backs of the two leaving, the boss of the news agency let out a long sigh of relief. He looked at the reward order in his hand, and secretly rejoiced that the buddy handed over the reward order in time, otherwise, he might have become a ghost under the sword of the female devil. Tony, I'll add chicken legs to dinner tonight. Thank you, boss. It takes 10 days for the recording pointer to record the magnetic field here, so in these 10 days, Luffy and his party cannot go to sea. Alabasta has a tropical desert climate. Now that Luffy and his party have landed, they will definitely be free to move about in this city. After coming out of the news agency, Luffy and Nami took Chopper to a clothing store. Nami tried on a dress that looked like a tropical dancer, came out of the fitting room, put her slender hands on her waist, and twisted twice in front of Luffy. "Look. Does this dress look good?" Luffy sat on the wooden bench and ate popsicles, glanced casually. "It's not good looking, but your stomach is exposed, you're going to get sunburned when you go out." "Yes." Hearing Luffy's words, Nami pretended to be suddenly enlightened, then chose a bottle of sunscreen from the store, and shook it in front of Luffy. "Hee, I have this." Nami puts sunscreen on her shoulders and stomach, then walks up to Luffy and slips the sunscreen into Luffy's hands. "I do not need." Luffy pulls on her big sunscreen cape. "Why are you so dumb? She asked you to wipe the back of her waist." The owner of the clothes store is a middle-aged woman. She hugged Chopper while masturbating and laughing. "This little girl is so beautiful. Why did she find a date who is so stupid?" "Yes, Luffy. I can't see behind me, please help me." Nami turns around, facing Luffy with her lower back. Luffy is slightly taken aback. "Oh, okay." Luffy is sitting, and the height of the raised hand is just on Nami's waist. "Wipe some more on the front for me, I'm afraid the sun protection is not strong enough." "Oh. Vinsmoke Sanji. Ah. Luffy the bastard over there. He dared to touch Nami's waist. Ah." Seeing Luffy rubbing sunscreen on Nami in the video, Sanji is so jealous. "I can't wait to get into the video and beat Luffy into a pig's head." Roronoa Zoro. Not only the waist, but also the stomach. Zoro intentionally turned on fire and said, "Vinsmoke Sanji. PFF'd. I can't take it. I can't take it." Nico Robin. "Ah ha ha, Nami over there is so proactive about Luffy." Usopp. "Haha, the most interesting thing is Chopper. Look at his blank face, so funny." Boa Hancock. "Ah, I also want Luffy to help me apply sunscreen." After applying the sunscreen, Nami picked out another sunscreen gown for the desert, and put it on for herself. In this way, he is just like Luffy, only his face is exposed. Luffy looked confused. "Didn't you wear sunscreen?" "Yes, but I suddenly found that your sun protection robe is very practical, so I want to buy one too." Nami came to the bar and paid the bill. Looking at the back of Nami walking out the door, Luffy scratched his head in astonishment, and muttered, "Then I just wiped it for a long time, didn't it just for nothing? Aren't you happy for nothing? Why are you so unresponsive, kid?" The store owner's aunt gave Luffy a supercilious look, and then stuffed Chopper into his hand. "She's gone far away. Why don't you hurry up and chase after her?" Luffy didn't understand the meaning of the store owner's aunt, but she hurried out after her. "Come outside." Luffy said there is a coconut seller on the side of the road. "Wait for me, I'm going to buy 2 iced coconuts." Speaking, Luffy rushed over. Seeing that Luffy came back with 2 iced coconuts with straws inserted, Nami was very happy. "Knowing that I took the initiative to buy coconuts for girls to cool off the heat, it seems that Luffy finally got a little better." Nami is happy, however. The happy arc of the corner of her mouth just rose a little, and the next moment it instantly froze on her face. I saw Luffy biting the 2 straws in one bite, taking a big sip. "Ah. It's so comfortable." Gold D. Roger. "Ha ha ha. This red Luffy is so funny. Can he find a woman after this?" Shaki. "What a log." Nico Robin. "Ah ha ha. Only at this point, the travel expenses on both sides are exactly the same." Trafalgar Law. "Look at Nami's expression over there. PFF'd. I can't help it, ha ha ha." Jewelry Bonnie. "What a poor Ms. Nami. Ah." Nami's smile gradually turned into an angry demon with steaming nostrils. She clenched her fists. "Idiot. Don't you know, buy me one." Luffy was taken aback for a moment, and immediately hugged apologetically. "Ah. I forgot." "And me." Chopper also raised his hand pitifully. "Here." Luffy stuffed the 2 coconuts into the hands of Nami and Chopper respectively. After a while, he came back with 5 coconuts in his arms. He bit 5 tubes and sucked 10. Comfortable. Roronoa Zoro. "This guy. I just want to go over and kill him." Capone Beige. "Haha. Kid Eustace. This guy is outrageous." "Ah. Help. Run. The pirates are coming. Don't kill me, I'll give you all the money. The three of Luffy were strolling in the street when they suddenly heard a loud noise coming from the front. They looked ahead and saw a group of strange-looking pirates wantonly snatching money from civilians. Some civilians were wounded on the ground, and their money was taken out by pirates. There was even a young woman who was tied around the neck by a pirate with a knife, obviously planning to take her away. It's a pirate. Seeing this scene, Nami's anger suddenly came up. As a victim who was killed by pirates for so long, Nami feels very empathy for these civilians in front of me. Before, I was not strong enough, so I could only watch Aunt Belmere and other villagers die in front of her eyes. But now, she has strength. We must never let this kind of thing happen under her nose. Just when Nami was about to make a move, suddenly, call. The wind blows from the ground. Dust flying. When seeing the sudden sandstorm, those civilians who were still panicked suddenly stopped panicking. Master Crocodile. The girl whose neck was held with a knife by the pirates suddenly had tears in her eyes, and shouted excitedly. Mr. Crocodile. You are really here. Great. Master Crocodile is here. We are saved. The wind and sand suddenly rises. It's him. It's Mrs. Crocodile. Haha. We are saved. The civilians who are in despair look up excitedly one by one at this time. Crocodile. A tall pirate who looked like the leader of the pirates suddenly changed his face. Could it be that crocodile from 7 Warlords of the Sea? Suddenly, he suddenly raised his head, looked at the cupola of the tallest building, and was shocked. Luffy, Nami, and Chopper also looked at it. I saw a man wearing a plaid shirt and a black plush cape standing on that roof. There is a scar on his face that runs from the left face to the right face, and there is no hand at the end of the left arm, but a golden hook. I saw him condescending, and coldly shouted with a king's aura, "Shut up, idiots! I'm not here to save you, I'm here to take the heads of these pirates." Although he has such a tone that he doesn't care about the civilians at all, but when he opened his mouth, the shouts of the civilians below became even louder. Very cool. Master Crocodile, you always save us in danger like this. Long live the crocodile. King of the desert, Crocodile. You are the patron saint of our Alabasta, Cod Day. The voices of the people below are overwhelming. Even if they see the king, it is impossible to have such high enthusiasm. In their view, Crocodile is a Tsunere man with a knife mouth and a bean-curd heart. With him, there will be a sunny day in Alabasta. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fooferfer. Sand Crocodile, I can't see that you used to be a good boy who was willing to help others. Sir Crocodile. Stupid. Are you so boring? It's not like you haven't seen the truth in the white frame video just now. Gecko Moria. Hey he he he. If it wasn't for the situation in the white framed video before, at first glance at the red framed video, I really thought that the sand crocodile was fulfilling the king with all its heart and responsibilities. Shichibukai's duty, Quinn. The model worker in 7 Warlords of the Sea, haha. As if enjoying the cheers, Crocodile stood on the roof and molded the golden hook on his hand, with a playful smile on his face. It doesn't matter how you call it, but with me here, pirates will never be allowed to run wild in this country. As soon as these words came out, the civilians below immediately became ecstatic. Brush. Crocodile jumped off the roof. If you don't want to die, lie on the ground. People are in the air. Crocodile gives a cold drink. Those civilians seemed to be very obedient, and they all fell to the ground immediately. Except for Luffy and Nami, only the pirates are still standing for a while. They saw the crocodile directly descending from the sky towards their position, and all of them showed fierce expressions on their faces. Damn it. Isn't it 7 Warlords of the Sea? Afraid of an egg? Fight with him. Just kill him. This city will be looted by us. This group of pirates are also evil-minded. Since they can't escape, let's use their swords. J. Puff. 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 More than a dozen weapons were inserted into Crocodile's body at the same time, piercing him completely. Ha ha ha. Is this the legendary 7 Warlords of the Sea? It's nothing more than that. The tall pirate leader laughed wildly when he saw that Crocodile was pierced. However, Crocodile looked at him with pity and sneered lightly. Next moment, the wind and sand suddenly exploded. A sandstorm suspended half a meter above the ground instantly swept this group of pirates and Luffy into it. The civilians were not hurt by the sandstorm because they lay on the ground in advance. In a blink of an eye, the sandstorm stopped again. I saw that group of pirates who were arrogant and domineering just now, all of them turned into dry mummies, lying crookedly in the sand. Crocodile! 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 The inspiring shouts resounded through the city like a mountain roar and a tsunami. Listening to the sound of the surrounding mountains and tsunami, Crocodile is very useful. He was going to harvest the heads of these people when suddenly, he suddenly noticed 3 figures from the corner of his eye. Those 3 figures do not belong to this group of pirates, but when he released a small sandstorm just now, these 3 people were also involved in his sandstorm at that time. For Crocodile, he has already reminded him of the phrase, "Those who don't want to die lie on the ground." If someone still insists on dying, then Crocodile won't care about him. Of course, Crocodile doesn't care about other people's life or death. What he cares about is, these 3 people can survive his sandstorm intact. Suddenly, he stopped when he was about to cut off the pirate's head, and turned to look at these 3 people. He asked with a look of scrutiny, "Who are you, people?" Before this, Crocodile didn't pay attention to these 3 people at all, so he didn't know how these 3 people survived the sandstorm. But since these 3 people can survive the sandstorm, it shows that they have certain strength. And Crocodile is in need of such talents. "Hi. Hello. My name is Luffy." Seeing Crocodile greet them, Luffy responded politely. Through the scene just now, Luffy can clearly see that the common people in this city are very supportive of the Mr. Sand Crocodile in front of him. Obviously, the other party is a very good person. As for the other party's 7 warlords of the sea identity, Luffy doesn't really care about it. Before he learned from Buggy that the so-called 7 warlords of the sea is equivalent to the pirates who were ordered by Marine, and now they are working for the government of the world. Luffy never judges a person based on the identity of the other party, he only believes the facts he sees. At least from the current point of view, Crocodile is indeed doing good things in this city. Although the sandstorm hit them just now, this level of damage is not even drizzle to Luffy. When the sandstorm came just now, Luffy immediately stood in front of Nami and Chopper, blocking them both plus. And Nami actually shot at that moment. She put her little hands on Luffy and Chopper at the same time, and displayed the ability to slip fruit. In this way, when the sand touched the 3 of them, it slid away in an instant, and the actual damage caused was only 0. Luffy? Crocodile quickly searched for the name in his memory. After a while, he was sure that he had never heard of this name. "Are you capable?" Recalling that the 3 of Luffy survived his sandstorm just now, Crocodile asked curiously. "Yeah, you are also a capable person. Logia, a sand fruit capable person." Luffy now has a clear memory of the Devil Fruit illustrated book, and naturally he can recognize this rare Logia Devil Fruit at a glance. "Ah, they are pirates." At this time, someone suddenly exclaimed. The people around immediately looked at him. I saw this man raised the newspaper in his hand, and shouted in shock. "This is the latest newspaper I just bought today, and the reward order on it was also issued a few days ago. Look, these 3 people, 2 of them are them." Everyone takes a look. I saw the reward order on the front page headline. Monkey D. Luffy. Offer a reward of 50 million Baileys. Roronoa Zoro. Offer a reward of 50 million Baileys. Nami. Offer a reward of 50 million Baileys. The charges of the 3 people are the same. They all killed the king and the king's army of the allied countries of the world. They are all defined as vicious big pirates. The surrounding civilians saw this scene. Oh. Aren't these 2 people the 2 of the 3 who offered the reward order? After doing such a vicious thing, you still dare to take your pets to go shopping here, it's really lawless. Sue. Luffy's arm stretched out, and with a swipe, he took the newspaper from that person's hand. Although the portraits of the 3 of them were drawn, I have to say that they are very similar. Looks like the artist's skills in Marine are amazing. As for their names, they were directly registered in the Marine base when they exchanged for the bounty. It turned out to be 2 ferocious pirates. Showing up on the street in broad daylight. Don't you know that this place is covered by Mr. Crocodile? Appear in front of Lord Crocodile, they will die. Master Crocodile will clean them up. Although facing these two vicious big pirates, because Crocodile is here, the civilians in Rapeseed City are not afraid at all. In their eyes, Crocodile is God. Smoker. Such a stupid commoner. Thinking of Crocodile as a hero. How stupid and hopelessly stupid. Hina. You can't blame the civilians. The main thing is that Crocodile's superficial work is really good, and everyone is deceived. Shiki. Don't blame the civilians, it should be you. Over there, you put a bounty on the Straw Hat Luffy and the three of them to become pirates, so the three of them are now villains in the eyes of the common people. Gecko Moria. He. The identities of the decent and the villain in the white frame video before are completely reversed now, it's so fun. Don Quixote Doflamingo. Interesting. The sand crocodile over there is about to cry. Foofurfur. Boa Hancock. Mr. Luffy over there is going to beat him to tears. When Crocodile learned of the identities of Luffy and Luffy, his eyes on Luffy suddenly turned into a kind of banter like a cat catching a mouse. After a long time, it turned out that it was just two pirates who wanted to get close to me. You can clean it up first, and then take it back to see if it can be used for me. Thinking of this, the sand on Crocodile's body started, etc. Observation Hockey immediately sensed that Crocodile was going to make a move. Luffy quickly stretched out his hand and stopped him. Listen to me. This is a misunderstanding. In fact, we are not pirates, and we have never done bad things. Luffy's first impression of Crocodile is still very good. He thinks this guy is a pirate hero, who is willing to stand up for the common people. Just like now, when the other party learned that he and Nami were also pirates, they immediately lost their enthusiasm and were going to arrest him and Nami. Luffy thinks Crocodile did nothing wrong. Of course, the fact that the other party did the right thing doesn't mean that Luffy will be caught without a fight. He tried to make the other party understand the truth in a reasonable way, so as not to embarrass the other party if he really did something later. After all, the other party is a great hero in the hearts of the people here. It would be bad if you let him lose face in front of everyone. However, in the face of Luffy's explanation, Crocodile sneered. Hee. If sophistry is useful, what do we, the 7 warlords of the sea, need? If you have anything to say, go down and explain it to Shinigami. Suddenly, Crocodile's entire arm turned into sand. Desert sword. He slashed out with a knife, and the sand was instantly slashed out like a wave of air. Go straight to Luffy and Nami. Wherever it passed, the ground was cut into 2 pieces. Luffy lifts up the chopper, turns to the side, avoids the blow casually. Nami also backed away for a while, and at the same time activated the slippery fruit ability, and the only bit of sand left was just wiped away from her body, leaving no dust. Crocodile was taken aback when he saw that his blow did not cause any effective blow. Wait. Listen to me, this is really a misunderstanding. The Wapol we killed and his king's army are actually the real pirates, but Marine didn't figure out the situation, so we mistook them for pirates. Luffy explained again without haste. When the surrounding civilians heard this, they started to sneer. Obviously he is a vicious big pirate. But he is still arguing. Do you think we are all fools? Do you think Mr. Crocodile is a fool? Facing our great Mr. Crocodile, are you so scared that you dare not even admit what you have done? Cowards. Admit it if you dare to do it. With the patron saint of Alabasta, Mr. Crocodile, even if you talk about breaking the sky today, don't even think about getting forgiveness. Crocodile was also lifted to a high place amid the cheers of blind worship from the surrounding people. In his plan, after completing the Utopia operation plan, he will become the king of Alabasta. So in front of the people of Alabasta, he must make a positive image. Since everyone eagerly wants to see him get rid of the 2 pirates and a pet in front of him, then he doesn't bother to care whether the other party is true or not. Fox Moon Dune. Crocodile's arm keeps pouring out violent sand, and he punches it. The moment the sand was swung out, it immediately turned into a crescent-shaped sand scimitar, covering the positions of the 3 of Luffy. Luffy held Chopper in one hand, and hugged Nami's waist with the other hand. His feet burst out of elasticity, and he did a backflip immediately, jumping out of the attack range of the Fox Moon-shaped dune. Although Nami's slippery fruit ability has a very strong defensive ability, But Luffy doesn't know whether Nami can completely defend against this kind of attack, so he simply jumped away with Nami. In short, in the face of Crocodile just. During the two attacks, Luffy has been able to determine one thing. That is, as long as Chopper and Nami are in his hands, it must be 100% safe. Nami was very happy when she saw that she was hugged by Luffy. Chopper is so scared that the snot comes out. Hey. Although my first impression of you is good, it doesn't mean that I will give in again and again. If you still attack indiscriminately, don't blame me. You are welcome. Luffy frowned slightly. Facing Luffy dodging his attack twice, Crocodile frowned too. This kid is hard to deal with. However, seeing that he has been protecting women and pets, it is obvious that women and pets are his weaknesses. Thinking of this, Crocodile sneered. If you compromise with the pirates, that would be a disgrace to justice. Rox D. Zebek. Ha ha ha. This kid, he has lied so much that he even believes himself, right? Gold D. Roger. Don't tell me, he has a sense of substitution. This is the self-cultivation of an actor. Gecko Moria. Hey he he he. The shame of justice. I don't know how he has the nerve to say it. Don Quixote da Flamingo. You don't understand now. Those who achieve great things, can they do it without a thick skin? Fooferfer. Shiki. Gia ha 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 ha. Well said. Crocodile activated his ability again. This time, his whole body turned into sand, and he rushed towards Luffy and the others. In the process of approaching Luffy, Crocodile suddenly spread his arms. With his arms spread out, there is yellow sand flying all over the sky. This yellow sand is extremely thick, but it is full of sharpness. Like a four-winged butterfly, the yellow sand condenses into four incomparably huge sand blades. As Crocodile made another move, Luffy's face turned completely cold. Wow. Seeing Crocodile's terrifying attack, Chopper was so frightened that he hugged Luffy's right waist and sat down on Luffy's right crotch. Nami's eyes lit up when she saw this. Wow. She also imitated Chopper, showed a scared expression, hugged Luffy's left big waist, and sat down on Luffy's left arm. Luffy is speechless. Even Crocodile on the opposite side couldn't help but want to laugh when he saw this scene. These two pig teammates. Desert Vajra sword. Crocodile snorted coldly, and the four sand blades suddenly shrank on Luffy's body. Boom. The sand blades cut together and turned into extremely heavy sand and fell. Sand dust falls. Crocodile is slightly taken aback. Huh. Where are people? Originally, the three people who he thought were destined to be dealt with by his blow suddenly disappeared at this moment. But at this moment, Luffy's voice came from above. Hey, are you looking for us? Nani? Crocodile was startled. When did this guy get out of my way? Suddenly, he raised his head and saw that Luffy had fallen from the sky at this time, and stepped on him with his right foot. Hee hee. Although his attack was avoided by Luffy, Crocodile didn't panic at all. Facing Luffy's attack, he even wanted to laugh. Stupid guy. Such an attack has no effect on me. There was a hint of disdain at the corner of his mouth. Crocodile laughed contemptuously. Gecko Moria. Huh. The contemptuous smile of the sand crocodile. Gold D. Roger. Haha. He thinks that Red Luffy's attack is just a joke to him, right? But he never thought that he will soon become a joke. Shiki. Gia ha 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 ha. Red Luffy's age is too deceiving. People at this age, basically few people have come into contact with hockey. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fooferferfer. Stop talking and watch, it's coming. Luffy's kick fell from the sky. Originally he was aiming at Crocodile's chest. However, looking at Crocodile's contemptuous smile at this time, Luffy immediately changed his attack target and directly stepped on Crocodile's face. Of course, the disdainful smile on Crocodile's face is still there. In his opinion, Luffy is just a newcomer who has just entered the Grand Line from 4 seas, and he probably has never seen someone with the ability of Logia Devil Fruit. It is even more impossible to know that Logia's elementalization can ignore any physical attack. But the moment Luffy's soul touched Crocodile's face, the jet black medium suddenly overflowed like water soaked in rice paper. At this moment, Crocodile's heartbeat almost missed half a beat. But he didn't have time to react. Boom. Luffy stepped on his face directly, and then hit the ground hard. The yellow sand and gravel on the ground are splashing in all directions. The whole world suddenly quieted down. When this scene appeared, the chat room burst into laughter. Especially thinking of Crocodile's confident and aggressive smile just now, when he was watching 553, at this time, he was directly stepped on the ground by Luffy. The before and after comparison is so funny, in the warship of Impel Down. The criminals around looked at Crocodile with sympathy. Crocodile is livid. Here he met Luffy's fate is already very miserable, but he didn't expect it to be even more miserable over there. A batch of fierce operations just now. As a result, Luffy carried one in each hand, completely ignoring his attack. Now Luffy finally fights back. Just paid it back, and he stopped eating. What is the difference between the whole self and those pirates who offered a reward of 30 or 50 Baileys? Crocodile took a deep breath and forcibly adjusted his mood so that he would not be instantly pissed off. Ah, Mr. Crocodile. It's bad. Mr. Crocodile was defeated by the pirates. Run. These two pirates are really cruel. If you don't run, you will die. Mom. The surrounding civilians who were originally cheering for Crocodile suddenly panicked and ran away. What a stubborn guy, Luffy complained, then put Chopper and Nami down, and said, "Let's go, since we have been rewarded, let's go back to the boat first." Originally I wanted to see more of the customs here with Nami, but it turned out like this. Luffy felt very disappointed. DC. Ahem. Crocodile's head was pulled out from the ground, and 2 mouthfuls of blood were sprayed. Woo. Armed color. Hockey, boy, you are from New World. Slowly sat up. Crocodile took out the handkerchief in his shirt pocket, and gracefully wiped the blood hanging from the corner of his mouth. Luffy's fighting power has really exceeded his expectations. Of course, being so strong by Luffy's blow, of course there are also reasons why Crocodile underestimated the enemy. However, in any case, Crocodile doesn't want to continue fighting with Luffy at this time. Because he wants to win over Luffy. On the one hand, it is because of Luffy's strong fighting power. On the other hand, the main reason is that Luffy is young. Young age means that you are not deeply involved in the world, which is convenient for brainwashing and control. New World? You mean the second half of Grand Line. Hearing this, Luffy turned to look at Crocodile, shook his head. No, I'm from East Blue. East Blue. East Blue is good. East Blues must have never seen the world, so it's easier to brainwash and control. Boy, I'm curious about one thing. I was going to kill you just now. Why did you knock me down and leave? Don't you want to kill me? I'm Crocodile. Kill me, and your reputation in the pirate world will explode instantly. Of course Crocodile doesn't think that the other party has the ability to kill him, but he just wants to ask. Luffy frowned, and said with a confused face, "No way. Isn't it easy to kill someone with your strength? Why is it so famous?" Puff. Crocodile feels the Hungarian area. Good boy, is this how your mother taught you to chat with people? Crocodile felt a sudden burst of anger in his heart. But the next moment, he forcibly suppressed this anger. Forget it. I still want to win him over. I can't test my limits in front of him. At this time, Luffy continued, however, although your strength is very ordinary, you can abide by the duties of the 7 warlords of the sea and bring a happy and peaceful life to the common people in this city. This is very respectable. Crocodile suddenly turned black. Good guy. This guy really thinks I'm a soft persimmon. However, considering what he wanted to do, Crocodile continued to bear it. And Luffy mentioned just now that, because he protects the civilians in this city, so this deserves Luffy's respect. As soon as these words came out, Rockdale was very happy. Sure enough, that kind of blind young man with a passion for nothing. Such a person, as long as you use the right method, you can definitely control it. Ha ha ha. Yes. Although I was originally a pirate, but when I realized that with great power comes great responsibility, I think I should do something for these innocent people. It wasn't until the government of the world recruited me to be the 7 warlords of the sea that I found the right direction. I'm now. What I can't see the most is the murder of civilians by those vicious pirates. Crocodile simply sublimated his personality charm. Then he looked at Luffy and stretched out a hand. Luffy, you are so strong. You can do something meaningful like me. Come on, Be my partner. Let's shine for this country together. Rox D. Zebek. Ouch, Shaki. Gia ha 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 ha. Gold D. Roger. A horse rider. This kid is really a horse rider. Don Quixote da Flamingo. If this is the first time someone knows Crocodile, he will definitely be conquered by Crocodile's personality charm, Furophora 4. Sakazuki. I told you a long time ago that pirates are unreliable. Sengoku. Shut up. Don't talk nonsense. This is Crocodile's personal reason. It has nothing to do with anyone else. Seeing what Sakazuki said, Sengoku was startled. Cursing Sakazuki, this idiot, in my heart. Although I am watching the movie now, the Summit War confrontation is real. If at this time, there is a gap between 7 warlords of the sea and marine due to Sakazuki's unrestrained speech, then this will undoubtedly be a devastating blow to marine. At that time, naval headquarters will not only have to face the 2 emperors plus Roger and Kazuki Oden, but also have to face the betrayal of several 7 warlords of the sea. This battle, still fighting. Crocodile's words made Luffy feel goosebumps. He just admires people like Crocodile, but it doesn't mean he also wants to be such a person. Let him stay in one place to protect the people in this place? Luffy will not do this kind of thing, because he knows that if a person stands on his laurels, his strength does not say that he will not regress, and he will definitely make no progress. If a super powerful pirate appears one day, wouldn't he be finished? Luffy's goal is very clear, just 2. One is to circle the Grand Line for a week and see this wonderful world. The other is to continuously increase strength in battle, and strive to reach the peak of strength in this world as soon as possible. Your sincere invitation, but I also have my business, and I will only stay here for 10 days, and when the magnetic field record of the record pointer is full, I will leave with my partners. Luffy tactfully refused. Crocodile's heart is suddenly upset. However, he is a scheming person. Of course he knows that this kind of thing should not be rushed. The other party has already expressed the intention of refusing. If you continue to pursue and fight, it will only make things counterproductive. Thinking of this, Crocodile said, well, everyone has their own ambitions, I won't force you. But we are also destined. If you don't mind, please come to my place as a guest, let me do my best as a landlord. Haha. Thank you very much for your kind invitation, but I really don't need it. I have my own business. The two meet by chance, it's not a problem to get acquainted with each other. But Crocodile first invited him to join the group, but now he failed to join the group, and invited him to be a guest. Luffy never minds speculating on others in the worst possible way. It has always been adhering to the concept of the heart of harming others must not be there, and the heart of defense must not be absent. Although Luffy is very obsessed with food and has strong strength, it doesn't mean that he likes to put himself in an unknown situation. Alright. Crocodile also knows enough is enough. Since Luffy's refusal has been clearly expressed, Crocodile shrugged his shoulders. Then let's see each other by fate. Although it cannot be his help, Crocodile is relieved knowing that Luffy and his party will leave in 10 days. Although Luffy can't be used by him, at least such a strong person won't interfere with his future plans, that's enough. Goodbye. Luffy waved his hand, and Nami left with Chopper. Because of the reward order, they can't go shopping in Rapeseed Flower City in a fair manner now, so they have to plan to go back to the Melee first, and wait until tomorrow to change their clothes and put on a disguise before going out. When we were about to reach the port, Luffy suddenly picked up Chopper, grabbed Nami and ran into the alley next to him. A moment later, a girl with a single ponytail and aqua blue hair chased after her, but bumped into Luffy's arms. Ah! Princess Vivi put on Luffy, bounced back, and fell to the ground too. Followed us for a long time, something. Looking at Princess Vivi who fell to the ground, Luffy asked lightly. When saying goodbye to Crocodile before, Luffy's observation Haki has already sensed the presence of Princess Vivi. Forehead, Princess Vivi was at a loss when she found herself exposed. Nami walked up to Princess Vivi, squatted down lightly, and pinched Princess Vivi's chin with her little hand, slightly smiled. You want to catch me and Luffy for a bounty? Princess Vivi hesitated for a moment, then gritted her teeth. That's right. You two murderous big pirates, everyone can kill you. Ah ha ha. A dumbfounding expression appeared on Nami's face. She modeled Princess Vivi's little face and said with a smile, "Little sister, you don't look as old as me. Why do you want to be a bounty hunter like others? Don't you know that we pirates are murderers without blinking an eye?" Suddenly thought of something, Nami pointed at Luffy behind him with his thumb, and deliberately said, "By the way, for a little beauty like you, our boss likes to rape first and then kill." The corner of Luffy's mouth twitches slightly. But he knew that Nami was joking, so he had to suffer from this dumb loss. And Nami is still waiting to see Princess Vivi's joke. Since the other party wants to catch pirates, of course Nami doesn't want to embarrass her, but let the other party know the dangers of this world. Otherwise, for a young girl like this, it's easy to catch a thief instead of being ruined by a thief. However, Princess Vivi raised her neck. "Okay, then kill me." Ah? This time, it's Nami's turn to be confused. What's the situation? Are all girls in big cities so brave? The other party is so stupid, Nami's prank can't go on anymore. However, she is not discouraged. Isn't there still Luffy? I still don't believe that I can't scare you, little girl, today. She pulled Princess Vivi up, pushed it directly onto Luffy, and then smiled. "Boss, enjoy yourself. I will deal with the corpse later." Princess Vivi is dressed on Luffy, and I am still very nervous. The reason why she came with Luffy and Nami is also a gamble. If she loses the bet, she may be doomed, but if the bet wins, maybe the miracle to save Alabasta is here. Suddenly, she looked at Luffy, her water blue eyes sparkled. Luffy stepped away sideways, then leaned against the wall next to him, shook his head slightly, and said, "There is no need to continue to test us. If I guessed correctly. Do you want to ask us for something?" As soon as these words came out, Princess Vivi's eyes suddenly widened inexplicably. "Ah. You. How do you know?" Princess Vivi never thought that the other party could even guess that she was testing him. She saw the battle between Luffy and Crocodile before, and just killed Crocodile casually. She was shocked at the time, and felt that this big pirate is really powerful. But later, seeing that Luffy not only did not kill Crocodile, but also said, "You can abide by the duties of the 7 warlords of the sea and bring a happy and peaceful life to the common people in this city, which is very respectable." Princess Vivi felt very strange. Since he was the vicious big pirate who slaughtered the Wapol royal family, shouldn't he be evil by nature? Why would he let Crocodile go for such a reason? Although Princess Vivi is still young, with her keen mind, she immediately felt that the two big pirates, who were offered a reward of 50 million Baileys, might really be a misunderstanding, as they said. At that time, Luffy also said in front of Crocodile that Wapol and his gang were pirates, and they were just killing harm for the people. These words will definitely be considered sophistry in the ears of others. But Princess Wei Wei thinks that this situation is not impossible. Because she met Wapol when she attended the World Summit with her father when she was a child. Of course Princess Vivi knows what kind of villain Wapol is. So regardless of whether Wapol was a pirate or not, at least killing Wapol is definitely not an evil act. Kill the villain Wapol plus let go of the Crocodile good man. These two things together, let Princess Vivi speculate that the two so-called big pirates, Luffy and Nami, are most likely not bad guys, but really good guys. With such psychological guessing, Princess Vivi started to follow Luffy and Nami. Along the way, Princess Vivi saw Luffy and Nami as if they were on a sightseeing tour, and there was no sign of a villain at all. She immediately believed in her guess even more. Now she is discovered by Luffy. If the other party is a vicious big pirate, she will definitely die. But if the other party is not, Princess Vivi thinks that she can pin her hope of saving Alabasta on the other party. Anyway, there are two ways now. One is to make a wrong bet and die in the hands of the other party, and the other is to win the bet and get to know the other party, and even ask the other party for help. How did you know? Hearing Luffy guessed her inner thoughts at once, Princess Vivi opened her mouth slightly, and her breathing became rapid. Luffy smiled slightly. Actually, it's not difficult to guess, right? When I was fighting with your Alabasta patron saint, there was another person beside you. That person should be your companion or partner, but you dismissed him and chose to follow us for so long. You purposely distracted your companions and followed us alone, which shows that you have your own purpose, and this purpose cannot be known to your companions. And you have seen our strength, but you are still following us at risk. which means that compared with your purpose, your life is not that important. The only thing I'm curious about right now is what kind of thing is it that can make you approach us two, vicious big pirates, even if you don't care about your own life? Luffy finished the analysis, and looked at Vivi with curious eyes. Nefeltari Vivi. OMG. Luffy over there guessed all my thoughts. Although it is the self on the other side, but because of the same personality, Princess Vivi can be sure that the self on the other side is indeed what Hong Luffy speculates. Jaji. It seems casual, but in fact, he is always paying attention to the surrounding environment, and has such a meticulous mind and analysis ability. Such a guy becomes a pirate, and I start to worry about the marine over there. Guion. I really shouldn't have issued a bounty order for Red Luffy so casually. Marco. That's very interesting. You shouldn't just give Red Luffy a reward. You can just give a reward to other people, right? If it weren't for the Red Luffy's strength, I'm afraid no one in your marine would have any doubts about the marine over there offering a reward to Luffy, right? Charlotte Linlin. Ha ha ha. Isn't that what marines are like? For those who are weaker than them, they will say the same thing. And for those whose strength can threaten them, they will try their best to win them over. Charlotte Perispello. Mom was right. Isn't that how 7 warlords of the sea came about? Rox D. Zebek. Haha, you're right. The so-called 7 warlords of the sea. Aren't they just the dogs of the government of the world? What a disgrace to the pirates. After listening to Luffy's analysis, Princess Vivi stayed where she was. Her heart kept beating for a moment. She looked at Luffy. I can tell you all my thoughts, but before that, can I ask you a question? Well, anyway, we don't have anything to do right now. Let's talk about it. Luffy made a hand gesture. Princess Vivi said, is it true that you killed people like Wapol because they killed civilians and became pirates? Yes. This question can be answered without any need, and Nami directly gave Princess Vivi an affirmative answer. Hearing this answer, Princess Vivi felt a little relieved. The Lord asked again. Okay. Then the reason why you didn't kill Crocodile is because he was helping Alaba DC. I agreed to ask only one question. Luffy directly interrupted Vivi's words, with a displeased expression on his face. Little sister, don't get me wrong. We are not very interested in your story. If you want to say it, and if you don't keep it. Suddenly realized that she seemed to have committed some serious taboo, Princess Vivi suddenly looked embarrassed, and said tightly, yes. I'm sorry. Ah ha ha, don't be afraid, he is a man with a knife mouth and a bean-curd heart. Nami smiled cheerfully, put his arms around Princess Vivi's shoulders, and said with a smile, tell me, what is it? But I will also say it up front, we are just listening to the story, but there is no promise to help you. Princess Vivi nods, then, she started to talk about it. From about 2 years ago, Alabasta stopped raining in all places except the capital area, then to the dancing fan incident, to the fact that she joined the Baroque Work Club in order to investigate the truth, and the clues she recently investigated. After listening to Princess Vivi's story, Chopper's eyes widened immediately. Nath? That guy with the golden hook turned out to be a big villain. Damn bastard. No wonder I always think he looks very unpleasant. Nami also waved his small fist and said angrily. Seeing the reactions of Chopper and Nami, Princess Vivi feels hopeful. She suddenly knelt down in front of Luffy and Nami. Please help this country. Even if I find out that the man behind the scenes is the Sand Crocodile, but no one in our country can defeat him. Marine is also impossible to help us deal with 7 warlords of the sea. Your strength is so strong. If you are willing to help this country, we can pay you. How many? Nami's eyes lit up immediately. Boom. Luffy reached out and tapped Nami's head lightly. Nami loves money. Luffy loves money even more. But as the saying goes, a gentleman loves money, and there is a proper way to get it. Luffy will not be foolish enough to be someone else's thug. To be honest, Luffy has only met 2 royal groups since he was a child. One is the royal family of East Blue Goa Kingdom. The other one is Wapol from Iron Barrel Kingdom. I am confused. No matter which royal family it is, Luffy has a very bad impression of them. It can even be said to be very bad. And after they arrived at the rapeseed city of Alabasta, they witnessed Crocodile's act of cleaning up pirates and saving civilians. I also saw with my own eyes how much the people here love and respect Crocodile. At least judging from Luffy's first impression, Alabasta's royal family is not a good she. And now, this little girl in front of me claims to be the princess of Alabasta and calls Crocodile a vile and shameless bastard. This kind of thing. I am afraid that only a passionate child will easily believe it. Of course, it is precisely because of the things that Princess Vivi just said that Luffy also has doubts about Crocodile. In short, judging from the current situation, there is no absolute evidence to prove that Crocodile is a bad person, and there is no absolute evidence to prove that the princess in front of me is lying. So, Luffy said slowly, let's not talk about the money. If you really want to ask me for help, tomorrow is still this time and this place, you bring me all the information you have about the Baroque Work Club. After speaking, Luffy didn't stop any longer. He carried the chopper in one hand and picked up Nami in the other, and disappeared into the alley with a whoosh. The next day, Princess Vivi came as promised. After getting the information, Luffy did not give any promise or guarantee to Princess Vivi, and still left without any hesitation. Mary, in the cabin of the restaurant and conference hall. The materials of Baroque works are all spread out on the table. Zoro said, although I have been in contact with Baroque studios before, I have only come into contact with their hundreds of millions of messengers. If I only talk about this part of the information provided here is indeed correct to what I understand. This Baroque studio is indeed not a good bird. Judging from the information provided by that girl, Mr. 3, Mr. 4, Mr. 5, Ms. Golden Week, Ms. Christmas, and Ms. Valentine among the senior agents can all be found in the reward order, and their names have also been confirmed. As for the agents above, there are only code names and no photos in this information, so it is impossible to confirm real identity. But judging from this situation, those people must also be rewarded guys. Nami checked the reward order for a few hours, compared it with the information provided by Princess Vivi, and made an analysis. Then what are you waiting for? Let's go help the poor little princess. Sanji heard it, and there were little red hearts in his eyes, and he raised his hands and spun around, as if he was about to become a son-in-law. Stupid, calm down. As soon as Nami looked up, the fist covered with armament hockey landed on Sanji's head. Then, she looked at Luffy and said, Luffy, what do you think? Luffy glanced at the information on Ms. All Weekly. He pointed to the code name, Ms. All Weekly, and said, this person is very interesting. Interesting? Usopp scratched his head with a dazed expression. Zoro also wondered. This person's information only has a code name, and the others are all blank. How do you find it interesting? Sanji is overjoyed. I know. Because this Ms. is a woman all Sunday. Dwang. Nami's armed color hockey's fist immediately calmed Sanji down again. Luffy explained. Although there is no photo of this person, and there is not much information. However, judging from the clues and information provided by the girl who claimed to be Princess Vivi, if we scrutinize it, we can infer. The source of almost all the important clues that Princess Vivi found came from this Ms. Full Sunday. Nefeltari Vivi. Oh my god. You can know how the red Luffy's head grows from the information I provided. This matter. Nico Robin. His guess is absolutely correct. Guion. Scary guy. When the partners listened to Luffy's analysis, they all understood. So, this Ms. didn't have one heart with Mr. Zero all Sunday. Nami frowned slightly, looking at Luffy. Luffy nodded. At least judging from the current situation, that's the case. Of course, it's also possible that this Ms. is Princess Vivi's person all Sunday, and she doesn't have revealed everything to us. In addition, regarding her guess that Mr. Zero is Crocodile, it seems that the possibility is very high, but I can't just because of the high possibility call the crocodile a verdict. At this time, Buggy laughed. You mean this sand crocodile? I used to hang out in New World, but for some reason, I joined 7 warlords of the sea. The first half of the Grand Channel. Although I don't know what kind of person he is now, but what I knew about him before is that he is a very cunning person. Tricks and means. Hearing this, Luffy frowned slightly, thinking for a while. He rubbed his chin. It seems that the possibility of what Princess Vivi said has increased a lot. Because of Buggy's 2 words, Luffy's trust balance has now tilted from Crocodile to Princess Vivi. Then what should we do now? Go directly to the Sand Crocodile and ask how. Nami suggested. Yesterday I fought against Crocodile. Nami already knows Crocodile's strength, so she thinks she can use strong. Luffy shook his head. He thought for a while, and suddenly a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. I have a better way, which can directly let the real culprit fall into the net. What way? Everyone was stunned when they heard Luffy's words. Can you still let the people behind the scenes fall into the trap? Luffy smiled slightly. He took one of the materials to the middle of the table, and then stretched his finger on the paper. Everyone looked over, and there were 3 words where Luffy pointed. Dancing fans. Sir Crocodile. Dancing fans. Even if he knows about dancing fans, so what? Crane. I don't understand. He said he wanted the culprit to fall into the net. Could it be that he was going to steal the dancing fans? But that's not the case. Even if the dancing fans were robbed, Crocodile wouldn't care about getting some money, would he? Guion. Although I can't understand his thoughts, I always feel that Hong Luffy is very confident in his plan. Shanks. Maybe it's because I'm very successful, so I'm very confident. Capone Beige. That Straw Hat kid over there, what tricks are you doing? Gold D. Roger. Haha. Just wait and see the good show, I'm really looking forward to it. Dancing fans? Don't tell me. You want to steal dancing fans? Buggy looked at Luffy with some doubts, but even if you steal dancing fans, the mastermind behind the scenes will definitely not care. Nami nodded. Yes. Whether it's the Alabasta royal family or the Baroque work agency, the price of dancing fans doesn't care at all for them. Zoro asked in a puzzled way. You mean, steal all their dancing fans? Luffy let out a helpless breath. Ah. Luffy felt a bit of a headache after listening to everyone talking to each other. He tapped the 3 words of dancing powder again. We are going to find this rain ship that uses dancing powder. Sir Crocodile. Impossible. Unless there are undercover agents on the rainboat, there is no way they will find out where the rainboat is. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fooferfer. Want to find a ship in the middle of nowhere? It's so hard. Hua Shaoshan. Yes. Although a good navigator can judge the possible location of the rainship according to the rainfall, the range is too wide. Crane. Don't forget, the rainboat is not necessarily launched vertically, it may also be launched at an oblique angle. This will only make the range wider, which is tantamount to finding a needle in a haystack. Impossible. Buggy immediately denied, this range is too wide, impossible to find. Although Nami trusts Luffy very much, she also explained. Besides, since the other party carefully planned this plan, the rainboat will definitely be hidden when there is no rain. Only when there is important rain will they go to sea. They will never give us a chance to find this rainboat. Luffy smiled. You guys are very reasonable, but what we need? Just wait for the next rain to come. Only 2 days later, a heavy rain came as expected. Such a large amount of rainfall is obviously man-made. Standing on the deck, Nami held an umbrella, stretched out her small hand and let the big one wash over her hand. Alright. From now until the end of this rain, the rainship will not change its position. Nami, let's start calculating the range. Luffy smiled, then walked to the cabin. Because the humidifier on the ocean is constantly blowing inland, if you want to trap all the water vapor over the capital Albana, you must make sure to use dancing powder every once in a while, so that nothing will go wrong. So Luffy concludes. Until the rain stops, that rainboat will never leave. According to known conditions such as wind direction, customs, and thickness, Luffy and Nami worked together, and finally calculated the range of sea areas where the rainboat may appear after half an hour. Such a large area, Luffy, I'm afraid we haven't found a tenth of it yet. Will the rain stop? Looking at the fan-shaped sea marked by Luffy on the nautical chart, Usopp opened his mouth, not thinking that this method is feasible at all. It's almost impossible, unless luck goes against you. Such a large area. Buggy shook his head when he saw it. No, we only need to pass quickly on this line, and there is a high probability that we can find this rainboat, backquote. Luffy took a pen and marked the middle line of this strip-shaped fan-shaped area. Ah. Just search here. What about other places? Nami also frowned slightly. She could understand Luffy's thoughts, but she disagreed with the search area. Don't worry, during the search process, I will activate the observation hotkey to the maximum. Although it can't cover the entire width of this fan-shaped area, there is still no problem in covering it. When observation hotkey is fully activated, the search range of the Mary will change from a point to a prototype surface. Wipe the surface of this prototype from one end of the strip to the other, and the probability of being able to wipe the rainboat is still very high. Of course, even if it's really that hard, it doesn't matter if you don't find the rainboat, just wait another 10 games. According to the probability, within 2 or 3 rains, it is almost certain that this rainboat will be found. Rox D. Zebek. Hey, is that kid kidding me? That width, can observation hotkey really achieve it? Charlotte Cracker. It's fake. That level, how is it possible? I can't even reach 1/3 of that width. How dare a brat like him speak so brazenly? Shanks. To be honest, that kind of width, even for me, I'm afraid it's not enough. The width value marked on Luffy's nautical chart made Shanks feel a little incredible. Charlotte Katakori. I can reach the level of Red Luffy's observation hotkey, but if it was me 5 years ago, I would definitely not be able to. Marco. Is that an exaggeration? You guys have honed observation hotkey to ultimate. Doesn't that mean that kid Red Luffy has also honed observation hotkey to ultimate? Charlotte Katakori. Although I understand what you mean, ultimate is just what others say. In my opinion, my observation hotkey is far from being ultimate in the true sense. Charlotte Linlin. That kid should be 15 or 16 years old now. Has he reached the same level as Katakori's observation hotkey? If I have a child with this kid, wouldn't that talent explode? Monkey D. Luffy. Nani, PFF'd, Roranoa Zoro. Nico Robin, Shaki. Gia ha. Linlin, you are such an old cow who gnaws young grass, so you don't want to play like this with you. Kaido. Lousy was speechless because of that kid after hearing it. Rox D. Zebek. Damn it. Linlin, you thought it was when you were young, don't give up on the Straw Hat Kid. Monkey D. Garp. Auntie. You dare to speak nonsense again, be careful, I will kill you. Ochaku. Roger and Whitebeard just want to be Garp's son, you're good, you just want to be Garp's granddaughter-in-law. This generation is messed up. Ha 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 ha. Tony Chopper. It's so scary, Charlotte Linlin. You idiots are laughing ass. Even if I can't do it, I still have so many daughters. Charlotte Linlin. Straw Hat Boy, as long as you promise to be my mother's son-in-law, you can choose my daughter's daughter. If 1 is not enough, then 2. 2 is not enough, you just accept the number. Gold D. Roger. Wow haha. This guy Linlin is really good. Ochaku. It's a good thing, Linlin, can you see me? Edward Newgate. Linlin, it's almost done. You are 4 emperors anyway, there are quite a lot of people in the live broadcast room, so show some face. Boa Hancock. Ah. The most angry person is Hancock, most other women just want to compete with her for Luffy. But this Charlotte Linlin actually uses crowd tactics. Simply do nothing. However, for her provocation, Charlotte Linlin didn't bother to talk to her at all. In Charlotte's eyes, Boa Hancock is not at the same level as her at all. After calculating the area where the rainboat may be, the Mary set off. Heavy rain is torrential, which should have affected the sailing conditions. But there is Nami's little hand model on Meili, and the ability of the slippery fruit is poured into Meihao's body, making Meili's whole body slippery. The wind is also good. Once you touch the Meili, they all slid away. Of course. Because there is no sail, the Mary has to go forward by rowing. Normally speaking, on this sea, if the boat is powered by oars, the speed of the boat will definitely not be faster than high. But with Nami, it's different. Under the action of the slippery fruit, the friction force between the bottom of the boat and the seawater also becomes 0 because of the slippery fruit's ability. In this way, the speed of the Meili can be said to be riding the wind and waves. Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, and Buggy are rowing at the same time, and the speed of the Mary is getting faster and faster, just like an arrow that has been leaving the string, whizzing. Alvida. Good way. When you meet Marine in the future, run away like this. Seeing the use of slippery fruit in this way, Alvida shouted smart. Kira. Can it still be like this? It's an exaggeration. Flying squirrel. This speed. Except for Kizaru Admiral, other people can only catch up with them. The melee shuttled through the sea, and when it had gone through about 2/3 of the fan-shaped area, Luffy suddenly frowned. I found it. He pointed to the right. There. Drive the boat over there. Not long after, a rainboat appeared on the screen ahead. The volume of this ship is about 5 times that of the Mary, with a canopy on it, and a huge large-caliber gun barrel that can be rotated in the middle. After getting closer, you can clearly see that there are people busy on the deck. Who? Suddenly seeing a ship approaching at sea, the staff of the Baroque studio on the deck of the reigning ship immediately pick up the weapon and aim at the Mary, voila. But before they even pulled the trigger, an incomparably terrifying aura immediately enveloped them all. The next moment, under the coercion of Mount Tai, all the employees of the Baroque studio on the deck of the rainship fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth, and convulsed very rhythmically. Whoosh. Luffy didn't say anything else. He rushed directly onto the rainboat, and then rushed into the cabin. Another release of Conqueror's Haki, and all the staff of the Baroque studio in the cabin have been dealt with. When he came out of the cabin, the others boarded the deck of the rainboat. Hey! Luffy, why are you rushing so fast alone? Zoro said, a little annoyed. Although Luffy is very strong, but a reckless rush in, this is not in line with Luffy's character. Luffy picked his nostrils, and said as a matter of course, prevent them from using phone bugs to report the situation to the people behind the scenes. Afterwards, everyone started to tie all the employees of the Baroque studio on the rainboat to the splint. After a while, Ba carried the seawater to wake up the employees of the Baroque studio. Bastards! This is the ship of Baroque Works, are you looking for death? Boom! With a gunshot, this awesome guy's head suddenly exploded. Luffy took the gun from these people, and of course he fired it. These people launched dancing powder here, causing the vast majority of Alabasta to suffer from drought, and countless people and livestock died of thirst and disease. Although they are also instigated by others, the sins he can cause with his own hands are absolutely unforgivable. From the moment Luffy boarded the rainboat, they were doomed to die. One shot to kill this early bird. Luffy fired a few shots at the group of Baroque workers randomly, and a few more people were killed. At this moment, the employees of these Baroque works were all terrified, and they didn't even dare to fart. Luffy pointed a gun at one of them, and said indifferently, "What do I ask? What do you answer?" This person is so scared that he nods again and again. "Who ordered you to do this here?" Luffy asked calmly. "Yes. Is the boss of Baroque Works." "Who is the boss of Baroque Works?" Luffy asked again. "No. I don't know." Boom. A shot to the head. Luffy pointed the gun at another person, and the person shouted in horror. "We really don't know. We are just a million envoys of Baroque Works, and I haven't seen many super agents, and it's impossible to know who the boss is." The voice is tearing, with a crying voice. This person is almost scared out of his wits. Luffy didn't shoot, but continued to ask, "How does the boss of the Baroque Work Agency usually issue tasks to you?" Refers to command form. It is command form. Every time there is a need for rain, the unlucky duo will bring the command form, and then we will sail out to sea to launch dancing powder. Don't kill me, I will tell you everything I know. Oh, by the way, the unlucky duo is a sea otter and a vulture, and their code names in the company are Mr. 13 and Ms. Friday. Words. This employee seems to be really afraid of death, and the answer is fast and detailed. Luffy goes on to ask, "Is there a phone bug on board?" Employee quickly replied, "No. No. Ah. No. Yes yes yes." Huh. Luffy frowned. The employee was so frightened that he hurriedly said, "No. There is no phone bug that can make calls, but there is a phone bug, which is used by the boss of the work agency to determine the location of this ship." After getting the desired answer, Luffy glanced at the other partners and made a kill gesture. Bang. Bang. Bang 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 bang. Accompanied by intensive gunshots, all the employees of Baroque Works, who had killed so many lifeless people, all went to see One Piece. A few days later, Rainland, Rain Feast Casino. What? Crocodile rushed to the edge of the window. watching the heavy rain outside, with an expression of disbelief on his face. The entire Alabasta is under his control, except for the capital. It has not rained in almost 2 years. Under such circumstances, domestic public outrage is directed at the capital, Albana. When this public anger accumulates to a certain level, Crocodile is ready to launch his Utopia battle plan. But now, it's actually raining outside. Those bastards on the rainboat are so incompetent. Damn it. Crocodile's eyes were cruel. He said coldly, "Tell the unlucky duo to go to the rainboat, and tell the group of idiots to launch dancing powder immediately. After intercepting the water vapor, immediately execute the group of idiots." "I'm afraid I can't do what you want." In the huge living room, another voice sounded. Crocodile turned back and looked at Nico Robin. "Are you looking for death?" Nico Robin didn't seem to care about Crocodile's anger at all. She said lightly, "Don't you forget that the unlucky duo went to the rainboat yesterday to convey the order of artificial rainfall, and they haven't come back yet. And now it's raining here. I'm afraid it's not a coincidence?" Listening to Nico Robin's analysis, Crocodile frowned slightly. "Because I suddenly saw the rain just now, I was dazzled by anger." "Calm down and think about it now. Indeed, something is wrong." Crocodile lit a cigar on the high-back combat seat, took a deep puff, and thought for a moment. Then, he took out a pen and paper and began to write instructions. "Assign the rainboat to Mr. 5 and Ms. Valentine, let them go there and figure things out." Put the written instructions on the table, and Crocodile went out very unhappy. "Okay." Hidden bored, Robin saw this, smiled lightly, and then went to make arrangements. The other side. A certain wild port in Sardinia. Mary and the rainboat are both docked here. It's not too far from Rapeseed Flower City, but it's very remote, so it's almost impossible for civilians to come here. In the nearby forest, Luffy and his team are repairing. According to Luffy's idea, they just need to wait here and wait for the mastermind behind the scenes to find door. Cultivate in the mountains and forests during the day, and just have someone on duty at night. On the gravel road by the sea, 2 bodies slowly approaching. One is walking on the ground, the other is floating in the sky. Mr. 5 and Ms. Valentine. 5 hours have passed since they got the finger, and they happen to be in Rapeseed City, so they rushed here soon. Look. The rainboat is there. Ms. Valentine was floating in the air with an umbrella, and suddenly found a rainboat docked at the wild port ahead. It was actually dragged here. It seems that it was attacked. Mr. 5 wears sunglasses and looks like 10 seats. He rubbed his nose and said, "Go and investigate first, to see if there is anyone lying in ambush on the decks of those 2 ships." Good. Ms. Valentine didn't say anything, and immediately flew over by the airflow. Come to the top of the 2 ships, Ms. Valentine immediately saw the Straw Hat group on the deck. Just now Luffy's observation hockey found out that someone was coming, and everyone immediately returned to the deck of the Beauty, waiting for someone to deliver. It turned out that I never expected. They came from above. Sudden appearance of the figure, everyone immediately looked up. Zoro opened his eyes suddenly. "Ah? It's blue." Usopp was also shocked. "Wow. This is really generous." Sanji immediately performed a nosebleed fountain, and passed out from anemia. Luffy was taken aback for a moment, and then said in amazement, "Hey. She's like this, haven't we all seen her in her cool?" "Don't look, idiot." Nami moved behind Luffy with 1 step, and 2 small hands caught Luffy's eyes from behind. "You guys should be the ones who dared to hijack our company's rainboat. Ha 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 ha, I found it." Although there are several people on the deck below, Ms. Valentine is overconfident in her own strength. She put away the umbrella directly, and fell down under the astonished eyes of everyone below. 10,000 kilograms of pressure. As a person with the ability to light and heavy fruits, Ms. Valentine can easily adjust her weight. At this height, she fell down with such a weight that no one can bear it. Of course. This is just what she knows. Probably seeing the intimate action of Luffy and Nami, Ms. Valentine's attack target directly chose Luffy. Although Luffy's eyes were blocked by Nami, his observation hockey easily locked on Valentine's movement. Aware that Ms. Valentine was coming towards him, Luffy directly hit Ms. Valentine with a single target attack formed by Conqueror's hockey. Voila! Ms. Valentine was in midair. She immediately rolled her eyes, and kicked, passed out. Buggy flew up with one hand and lifted Ms. Valentine from the air. But at this moment, whoosh, a booger comes galloping. Brush. Zoro cuts out with one knife. Boom. The booger exploded. Zoro roared with a demonic expression. What? His booger can explode. I'm the explosive man who ate the fruit of the explosion. Hey. You bastards, you messed with the wrong person. Mr. 5 is digging his nose while walking towards the melee. However, he just took the next step, and immediately fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth. It's right to mess with the wrong person, idiot. Luffy picked his nose, and said lightly, see. Then, he looked at Zoro and Usopp. Quickly, get 2 wooden barrels filled with seawater and lock them up. These 2 people are worth a lot of money. Good. Zoro and Usopp immediately got busy. Before, everyone considered the issue of imprisoning people with abilities, and finally, under Buggy's suggestion, they got some wooden barrels and specially transformed them into shackles. As long as it is filled with seawater, there is no way for a capable person to escape. One is 10 million Baileys and the other is 7.5 million Baileys. It seems that the big fish haven't come. Nami looked through the homework done a few days ago and found the huge rewards for these 2 people. Don't worry. Luffy stretched his waist, then started to do exercises, and said while doing, it hasn't rained in Alabasta for a year or 2, and now it's raining everywhere. The man behind the scenes can't sit still. Maybe there will be a wave of stronger cannon fodder to test, but no matter how many waves of cannon fodder come, in the end their behind the scenes bosses must come. Time flies, half a month has passed. 3 waves of people came during this period. 2 waves are pure cannon fodder like a million messengers. The other wave is the 4-person group of senior agents composed of Mr. 3, Mr. 4, Ms. Golden Week and Ms. Christmas. The result is still the same, it came directly and did not give them any chance to send back information at all. Even though these guys have been divided into vanguard and hidden troops, none of them can escape the perception of Luffy's observation haki. As a result, Crocodile's eyes are still darkened, and he doesn't know what's going on. Rain Banquet Casino. In the huge conference room, there are only Crocodile and Nico Robin. The people sent out are still gone forever. Robin reports the situation to Crocodile. Crocodile's face is livid at this time. He slapped the table heavily and said angrily, damn. Who did it? Could it be that Alabasta hired some powerful guy in the room? In his mind, the figures of Luffy and Nami flashed. Could it be them? No. No way. Crocodile remembers that Luffy said that they will only stay here for 10 days, and now, 20 days have passed, they should have left long ago. Why don't you? I'll go there. It can be seen that Crocodile must still send someone to go. Robin just took the initiative to order. No. Crocodile shook his head suddenly. Nico Robin is almost the only one who can interpret the text of history, and Crocodile doesn't want her to take this risk. Of course. Part of the reason is that Crocodile is worried that Robin will betray her. In his opinion, if Robin thinks that the other party is more suitable to be her boss, this woman will definitely choose to betray without hesitation. After all, Robin's name of betrayal is world famous, Co. Hearing this, Robin asked again, so, are you going to go there yourself at the risk of revealing your identity? 6 senior agents have been lost in a row. The enemy's strength is obviously not weak. In this case, it would be very unwise to send 2 groups of senior agents, Mr. 2 and Mr. 1, step by step. Based on what Robin knows about Crocodile, she knows that Crocodile won't make such low-level mistakes. Crocodile thought for a while, with serious eyes, and said in a deep voice, you come with me. Robin face a doesn't matter expression appeared on his face, and he smiled and said, okay then. Mary's side, Usopp is sitting on the edge of the railing, holding a harpoon with grilled fish in his hand. It's been a few days, and there is no movement at all. The man behind the scenes saw us so. Chang. Will you stop coming? Luffy is sitting by the grill, gulping down the meat. Don't worry, just wait patiently, within a week, that person will come. Nami wiped the oil stains from the corner of his mouth, and asked in confusion. Luffy, why are you so sure he will come? Buggy also felt puzzled. If he really dared to come, he wouldn't have sent wave after wave of people to test him out. It is estimated that after these 3 tests, the person behind the scenes really scared him. Luffy swallowed the fish meat that was dazzling in his mouth, and his stomach turned into a ball. The plan for the year was suddenly destroyed by an unknown force. If it was you, would you be willing? As soon as these words came out, everyone on the melee was taken aback. Substitute yourself into the scene of that person a little bit, and they all immediately got the answer. Unreconciled. I believe you already have the answer. Luffy laughed. I have prepared a plan for 2 years. If you don't try it, you will see this plan fall short. It is almost impossible for anyone in this world to do it. On the warship of Impelled Down, Hiss Crocodile took a deep breath and looked at the red Luffy on the screen. He felt deep fear. He has to say, Red Luffy got his mind right. Originally, he's been brooding about losing to Luffy. But now seeing the situation in the red-framed video, Crocodile is very happy. Fortunately, Luffy is on my side, otherwise, I am afraid I will be even more miserable. He didn't dare to think about what would happen to himself over there. Trafalgar Law. The idea of the sand crocodile over there has been completely guessed by the head of the Red Straw Hat. Jewelry Bonnie. Yeah, the poor little crocodile over there is being ked by the red Luffy. Basil Hawkins. It's too much. Even his fortune-telling is not accurate. You're rogue. Ha ha ha. After Luffy and his party are full, they gather the leftovers together, and then ask a more obedient Million Messenger to bring them to the captives. Huh. It's him. At this moment, Luffy's brows twitched, and he muttered, it seems that what Princess Vivi said is true. Luffy stood up and looked at a small boat approaching not far away. There were 2 people on board. One was a tall woman wearing a white western cowboy hat, and the other was Crocodile. Nami also saw Crocodile standing on the opposite deck at this time. Chopper opened his mouth wide. He is obviously a great hero in the hearts of the people of Alabasta. Why would he do such a thing? Usopp curled his lips. Stupid Chopper, don't you understand? That's just the image he created for himself. Now he is the real him. When Crocodile saw Luffy and his party, an inexplicable anger burst into his heart. Damn. It's really them. Hello. The patron saint of Alabasta. When the decks of the 2 ships approached, Luffy greeted Crocodile with a smile like last time. It's just. Compared with the sincere tone last time, this time Luffy's tone is full of unabashed sarcasm. Ding. Enter the prize-winning answering session. At this moment, a question appeared on the big screen. Question. Red Luffy defeated Crocodile. How many moves did he use? A. 0 moves. B. 1 move. C. 2 tricks. D. 3 tricks. E. 4 tricks. Goldie Roger. Hey, answer the question. Some people still can't answer. Rox D. Zebek. Damn it, Roger, you bastard. What are you talking about? I will give you a reward later, so that you can come back to life. Gold D. Roger. Slightly. Shanks. Ahem. Captain, pay attention to your image. Pay attention to your image. Rox D. Zebek. He has a sling figure, damn it. Shaki. Damn it. Roger, stop talking nonsense. I am the same. I can't answer until the next question. Roger's operation is true and many people are stunned. Nima. What does One Piece look like when he makes a slightly expression? Shocked. Crocodile. Asshole, are you kidding me with this option? Seeing the options for this question, Crocodile immediately stopped in Bungboo. A total of 5 options, the most tricks are 4. Damn, can my crocodile waste to this extent? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Don Quixote Doflamingo. This option A is really too much. No matter how weak our Mr. Sand Crocodile is, he will be scared to death if he fails to make a move, right? Well, if Doflamingo didn't put on that iconic smirk at the end, his words would sound like he was complaining about Crocodile. Sir Crocodile. Clown. What are you talking about? If you met the red Luffy over there, how do you think your result will be better than mine? Although the results of Crocodile have not yet come out, but once this question is asked, there seems to be no suspense. Don Quixote Doflamingo. Fooferfer. Even if you don't compare with the Straw Hat Boy over there, what about the Straw Hat Boy here? You are not the same as being beaten down by others? Sir Crocodile. Hee hee. Let's see what you can do. It's just that you haven't met Luffy in the Straw Hat. If you do, your fate will not be much better. Listening to Doflamingo's ridicule, Crocodile was really angry. Don Quixote Doflamingo. Then you think too much. The Straw Hat Boy here didn't meet me. That's his fate. If he met me, this video would have to change the protagonist. Gecko Moria. You two mentally retarded. Why are you arguing here if you don't answer the questions? Sir Crocodile. If you want to choose, you choose. Capone Beige. Choose B. In the previous battle just now, the red Luffy took down the sand crocodile with one kick. This time it can't be done twice, right? Skulikmanip. Ah, blah, 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 blah. Kid Eustace. That's right. I'll choose A. If I'm wrong, I'll take my life. Anyway, we're not in our 70s or 80s. Sengoku. Arrogant and ignorant boy. Goldie Roger. Sengoku, you choose. You can choose this time. Sengoku. I choose you. Kuzan. Choose A. Paluzolino. What are you doing? Kuzan. Guess. This is the least likely answer, but it might be it. Sakazuki. Then I choose B. You have to make a move. Paluzolino. Woo. Okay, forget it. I won't guess this question. Let's look at the next question. Originally, he wanted to join in the fun, but Paluzolino suddenly realized that he was the oldest of the three admirals, and if he made a wrong choice, isn't it against Sengoku Garp's age? Charlotte Perispello. I choose a 2. Take my life and gamble. Jack. I choose E. Bet. If I get it wrong once, I can still afford it. Zephyr. I feel that B is very likely. Let me bet once too. Choose B. Crane. Indeed, the probability of option B is quite high. It is indeed very reasonable for Red Luffy to defeat Crocodile with one move. I hope this is the answer. Although he was talking about analysis, Crane Vice Admiral had no idea at all, because many of the answers to this viewing system were unexpected. Otherwise, she would choose a countdown to answer the question. 10, 1, 0. As the countdown to answering the questions ends, the video in the red frame continues to play again. Hearing Luffy call him the patron saint of Alabasta, Crocodile's face suddenly darkened. He's not a fool. The irony can be clearly heard from Luffy's tone. Luffy boy, didn't you say that you stayed in this country for 10 days and then left? What's the situation now? Crocodile asked in a cold tone. Hee. Sand Crocodile, you are really interesting. You have killed so many people in Alabasta, but you still pretend to be the patron saint of the Alabasta kingdom on the surface. Luffy grinned, and said with a sneer, you are blaming the royal family of Alabasta for this kind of thing, but at the same time cherishing your reputation in front of the people of Alabasta so much. Let me guess. Your real purpose is to plan for the throne of the kingdom of Alastan, right? Such a person actually wants to become the king of Alabasta. Fortunately, we discovered it, otherwise, the people of this country will usher in even greater disasters. An angry look appeared on Nami's pretty cheeks. Although what Luffy said is just a guess, Nami firmly believes that Luffy will not guess wrong. Using the lives of innocent people to add to your lies. People like you don't deserve to live in this world. Zoro's hand was on the knife, and he also hated such people. Why? Are you trying to stand up for the people of this country? Listening to the words of Luffy and others, Crocodile's face was full of sarcasm. He sneered and said, in this world, countless people die every day. Do you want to take care of it? Can you do it? Look a little more. Other people's life and death are none of your business. Only money, status, and fame are meaningful to you. Luffy, now I invite you to join me again, and I will let you have a status and pleasure that you could never have imagined before. Although Luffy has taken care of so many of his subordinates, Crocodile doesn't care at all. If Luffy and his group can be taken under his command, Even if all the agents of the current Baroque work agency are thrown into the sea, he will agree without hesitation. Stop it. Sand Crocodile, we are not the same people at all. Although what you did in Rapeseed City was faked. But you actually saved those civilians at that time. For the sake of this, I can give you a decent death. Suicide. Luffy has always been particular about what he does. If Crocodile is willing to commit suicide, then give him some face. Don Quixote Doflamingo. Fufurfur is so miserable, Mr. Sand Crocodile. Red Luffy is sure to eat you. Ochaku. He can even say something like making the other party commit suicide. It seems that in the eyes of Red Luffy, Crocodile is just an existence that he can crush to death. Kira. Hey? Wait. If Crocodile really committed suicide, wouldn't the answer to this question be A? Kid, you chose A. Kid Eustace. Yeah. It's because A doesn't look like the correct answer, so I chose it. Is it true that I got the right answer? Kuzan. Very good. I also chose A. The Sand Crocodile on the opposite side has to fight a little bit. Take a knife and kill yourself. Kid Eustace. That's right. Do Marine Admiral and me a favor. Capone hyphenation point beige. Don't, anyway, it's 7 warlords of the sea. Don't be so cowardly. Hurry up and let Luffy kill you in seconds. Sakazuki. Damn, Red Luffy can do it. One shot is enough. Zephyr. I want Red Luffy to punch me too. Jack. How can one punch be enough? If you want to throw 4 punches. Damn, Red Luffy, listen to me. Throw 4 punches and kill that alligator. Quinn. Ha ha ha. Jack is an idiot. What did you choose? And you still dream of getting rewards for answering questions. Hearing Luffy's words, Crocodile's face suddenly twitched violently, and his eyeballs were bloodshot. I am a dignified 7 warlords of the sea. You actually let me commit suicide? This is no longer a humiliation. This is simply stepping his face on the ground and rubbing it. Wow. Furious, Crocodile tore off his plush cloak angrily. Luffy, don't be shameless. A pair of bloodshot eyeballs stared at Luffy. Crocodile growled furiously. Do you think that you stepped on my foot before that means you are stronger than me by? Boy. If you think so, then you are looking for your own death. That kick. I didn't expect that a little guy at your age could actually practice armament hockey. Otherwise, I wouldn't just stand there and let you kick it. Thinking of being underestimated to such an extent by a teenage boy, Crocodile's hidden ambition burst out immediately. Facing Crocodile, who was so angry, Luffy was unmoved at all. He said lightly, "Is it any wonder that I have cultivated armament hockey at my age? Hee. Kid. Don't play dumb with me. Even in the new world where there are so many strong people, someone who can cultivate armament hockey at your age. It's definitely one of the few," Crocodile said coldly. Although he is very angry now, he will not deny Luffy's talent. Nani? Are you counting on your fingers? Luffy frowned, then looked at his partner beside him, then at Crocodile, and said with a smile, "Who are you lying to? We already have enough of them. If the new world's powerful people are so good, what qualifications do they have to be called the most dangerous sea area? How many of you?" Hearing this, Crocodile suddenly laughed. He smiled unceremoniously. "Do you really think I'm a fool? If armament hockey is so easy to cultivate, wouldn't it be? Ah. Nani." Before Crocodile finished speaking, his eyeballs popped out. He is staring at the front. I saw that the arms of Zoro, Usopp, Sanji, and Nami were all covered with jet black medium. What else is this not armament hockey? Plus Luffy, isn't it just one hand? Silly. Crocodile is really stupid. How can this be? Even if you deliberately look for such young and strong men in New World, it may be very difficult to find them. Why did I meet 5 of them all of a sudden? Crocodile almost doubts life. Gold D. Roger. Haha. That guy's expression. Ha ha ha. Shiki. It's really too miserable. Even if we had encountered this kind of thing when we were young, I'm afraid we would be as dumbfounded as him. Gee ha 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 ha. Ochaku. I can't help it, if people memorize it like this. I can only mourn for him, haha. Capone beige. Hey. Don't think about it all of a sudden and commit suicide. Call me. Sakazuki. Damn it. Don't be so cowardly. Zephyr. Red Luffy. What are you waiting for? Give it to him quickly. Send him to die. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fooferfer. It seems that everyone wants to see the sand crocodile die. Sir Crocodile. Get out. Stupid. Not only Crocodile suspects that he is alive, but Luo, who is next to him, is also dumbfounded repeatedly. She mixed from West Blue to Grand Line. She has never seen such a terrifying talent. And she also met a bunch of. It's just like nonsense. At this time, Luffy asked lightly, Crocodile. Have you decided yet? A chance to die decently. Do you want it? I want you to die. I was already angry to the point of ultimate, and now I heard that Luffy is still questioning him with such humiliating remarks at the full level. Crocodile broke out completely. He stretched his right hand forward and opened his hand. Endless wild sand spewed out from his palm crazily. It's as if the gate of the yellow sand hell has been opened, and countless yellow sand monsters are raging out. Just in the blink of an eye, countless yellow sands suddenly formed a whirling storm in his hands. Die. Die. Let me die. Heavy Shalon. Crocodile throws the sand storm out of his hand. The whole sky suddenly became extremely dark. Wind duster, flying sand and rolling stones. Nico Robin suddenly lost his footing, but at this moment, Luffy's arm elongated instantly, his palm enlarged like a cattail fan, and he went straight to Crocodile in an instant. I won't suffer from this again this time. Before I suffered from not knowing that the opponent would have armament hockey. Crocodile will not be stupid this time, waiting for the opponent's hand to fall on his head. He suddenly turned into a wisp of wind and sand and swept away, trying to hide himself in the wind and sand in the sky. However, just a few meters away from the original place, he suddenly felt something falling on his head. As if the golden hoop was suddenly tightened, Crocodile's head was grabbed by Luffy's big gun. What? Crocodile is shocked. He has already dodged. Why did Luffy's hand appear on his dodging route? He can't figure it out, but Luffy won't give him time to think about this. Luffy's right palm jerked back. At the same time, his left knee came up instantly. Crocodile wants to escape, but finds that he can't shake Luffy's hand at all. I can only watch helplessly as my head faces towards Luffy's lap to greet the past. However, it's okay not to look at it, but this look. Crocodile's eyes Kakuzu burst open. Because he clearly saw that there was not only the rich armament hockey on Luffy's knee, but also purple lightning bolts crackling around. That's Conqueror's tangled knee.